beautiful. It's football weather here. We're back at Sharp Field here, and it's we get to coach some, we get to call some Denver football. I don't know if there's anywhere else I would rather be.
So, I haven't asked you this question. I know we're going to talk a little bit about history between these two teams, but you talk about Sharp Field. I'm not a Denver, original. This is probably year 7 for me being here, and you're a Denver alum. So, do you know the Sharp family at all? Or
I do.
Okay.
There's Sharp families. Alex Sharp is 2 years older than me. So,
okay. And
there were some nights there. We weren't like close friends. Being 2 years older, but I'd go out to the Sharp place, and they've done some cool things for Denver, and they're kind of had some big businesses around Denver. But yeah, it's been Sharp Field since about, I would say 14 years since Denver, we've came up from the old place. So it's a beautiful field. It's right in the south of town here, and it's a great field for Denver football.
Yeah, and it's just a gorgeous night. Last Friday, talk about that heat. I mean, I've seen lots of cramping, but it was hot.
That was, honestly, there's football that's in play that you have to think about is just X and O's of like, hey, do we have the guys or do we have the right plays in the formations there? That put a huge another obstacle there, is being like, hey, do we have the guys behind the guys? Because cramping, you saw probably about 7 from each team right there at some point coming up, and you're like, hey, I don't know if he's going to come back. So that was a new, another wrench thrown in the whole thing last week. Was just who had the more depth there, and luckily there the game was in hand for Denver, but it was another wrench for Denver to kind of deal with.
And so last week the Cyclones took on New Hampton, the Chickasaws, and talk about the game a little bit. What were some things that you noticed, and what are some things you're looking forward to tonight, Coach?
Well, I don't pretend to be an unbiased call man right here. I like the maroon and gold here. So just as a spectator and a fan, I loved the mentality that, just kind of the mindset Denver came into that game with there. Beginning of the year, there was a lot of unknowns. We lost a lot of production from last year. Ethan Scoville in the backfield. Didn't know who kind of the workhorse in the backfield was going to be. But if you want to take theirs, everyone came out healthy, got a W, and coming away from the game, I think Denver couldn't have felt any better because they wore New Hampton down as the game went, which was something that you don't know if your team's going to be capable of that early in the year. But the fact that they could, and in the third, fourth quarter, the third quarter was kind of just a pinball punt match for a little bit, and then fourth quarter Denver took off with 3-4 touchdowns because they did wear the other team down. So what a great way for Denver to start the year, healthy, with a win against a good 2A team out there that's got some tradition. Red Barrett, Coach Barrett, he's got to be feeling pretty good about with his team right now.
Me and Coach Barrett don't talk about football a whole lot because at the end of the day, like, he's talking about it all the time, and he's keeping his team kind of under wraps. But I know he's pretty pleased with how they played. They had a good running back that they didn't shut down completely last week, but at the end of the day, I think they definitely hit him and they contained him as much as they possibly could.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. When you have a back like that last week here, he's going to go for 100, and he's just going to get there. But he got a couple big chunk plays, and after that, I think the Denver team did a nice job of winning first down and kind of limiting the big plays. But if you take away probably his 3 biggest runs, and then you took away his stats from that, the Denver defense really showed up there. They had a couple really nice plays that, got a lot of stats, but 119 yards, I think, ended with their Denver defense. Really, I thought was maybe the star of the show there. Let their offense, gave them a lot of short fields, a lot of turnovers on, in plus territory, made the offense feel a lot more comfortable. So Denver defense showed up, and Denver offense kind of reaped the rewards of it. But, it was a good team win overall.
I'm glad you talked about their defense. I mean, I think it was a 6 takeaway game. I think 3 interceptions, 2 by Ethan Ryder, 2 big returns by Ethan, and then it was 2 or 3 forced fumbles. And they were critical fumbles too. I want to say Will Lockhart had a big hit, and I think it was a missed handoff. And then there's a couple situations where it might have been Ben McShane, the running back from the Chickasaws, that got hit in the second level, and the Cyclones capitalized.
Well, I'd say, honestly, there's the Cyclones there. You could tell New Hampton there's some of those turnovers, I'll say, were just a little bit of rusty beginning of the season there. I think New Hampton's going to be completely fine with that. But part of being a good football team is, when a team makes a mistake, is you're able to pounce on it. There was 2 balls that got overthrown. Ethan Ryder's there for the pick. And then on top of there, he takes it and puts it in plus territory. Same thing there. I think McShane got, loose for, a pretty decent run, 14-yard run. Next thing, spin move. punch the ball out. Denver recovers ball, a 20-yard line ready to score again. So good teams are opportunistic, and that's what I think the Cyclones proved. I think anytime you're +5 in the turnover margin, it's hard to, not be in the winning category at the end of the game.
Absolutely. Well, folks, we're going to take probably about a 2-minute break here for the national anthem, and we'll be back.
Two would be fine. That should get us to where we take one last time out before the.
And we're back, and gosh, I'm just looking down at the field, and there's been some tremendous growth. I mean, Dan Cooper, in charge of the band. I mean, their program is awesome, and I'm seeing Grant Pausch, and I don't know if is that Elena Hildebrandt that are drum majors down there, and then our flag team is just growing, and they look pretty strong. And our cheerleaders, I think we got like 18 or 20 cheerleaders out there. So
it's busy down there. I don't appreciate you asking me any band questions. Mr. Cooper here's, now that I know him even more from around high school, I told him, if I would have known you're this cool, I would have gone out for band. And I think that's why we have a bunch of kids out for band, is because he is entertaining, he keeps it lively, and he is really good at what he does. So, yeah, busy, with our cheerleaders and our band down there.
So it looks like we got probably about 6 or so, up on the clock there, 5 minutes and 46 seconds left before we start. And I know that the scoreboard down, I got to say this correctly, in the bottom left sometimes is difficult for us to see. I'm going to try to add I got to make sure how to do this. Let's maybe clear some things. Let's get rid of that. Sorry, I'm talking out loud.
He's a mad scientist, I'll tell you, everyone. If you're listening to this guy, he is he makes it sound simple, but I'm glad he's the one, pushing all the buttons, because this production would not go without his crazy brain, how smart he is with all this.
Oh, geez. So I was in your room the other day, and
okay.
It's true, right? He said, I didn't know you were, I think you said either that, I think you said smart, but then you put that smart.
I was unaware that you were this smart, is what I said. And I did mean it to be a little bit of a jab, because I thought it would be funny.
But your little jab, you've got like 16-foot-long arms, so that thing's going to break my nose probably. So, no, it's been this whole thing has been really good, and I think at the end here, that's one of the reasons that I love high school. Like the whole point of this thing is learning, and I'll take that absolutely. Thank you, sir. No, sorry, that was Mr. Nate Score helping get everything started here. I mean. Coach Frost, Mr. Frost, and I have a hard time, so I'm just calling you Joe in here. But
yeah, it's fine. Whatever you want to go with it.
I think I'm going to call you Joe. That makes me feel better. Or Coach Frost. Out here, how many people are involved to produce, any home event? Football is pretty big too, but like, how many people, concessions to, volunteers that are taking admissions? Like, what number of people to put this on?
You know what? If you want me to give me like this, I feel like this is one of those guessing games here. But I'll tell you what, it is why I love small town Iowa high school football, is because it seems right here that everyone in the community is out, and you have a good 2/3 of it in some way, invested there, whether it's concessions, whether it's admissions, whether it's up here with us, whether, we've got a big coaching staff again this year. You got their chain gang. There's enough jobs out here, and the buy-in is real. The buy-in in Denver is great, and that's what I love about the small town, football environment, because you feel like the community is here with us, on Sharp Field.
And again, it is a gorgeous night. I mean, we've got kind of a shade, coming in from the south. And I'm getting better at my cardinal directions here, being in Denver. But I mean, it will be a gorgeous night. It's been kind of a hot week here, and we're looking for some hot weather continuing for the next couple weeks. But yeah, we're in for a treat tonight. So let's talk about Wapsie Valley a little bit in their first game against Jessup last week.
Well, Wapsie theirs is 12-0 win. Jessup came off a rough year, so it's just one of those things that I think you watch film early in the year, you just don't know what you're seeing, whether Jessup's still down. If you watch film, I watched a little bit of film against Jessup there. Jessup looked much improved. Wapsie looked to be like more strong on the defensive end than maybe the offensive end. It was a slugfest at 12-0. So I'll tell you there, it's hard to know what you're getting there, but I do know just traditionally with Wapsie, you're going to get tough kids. You're going to get some kids that play, maybe stronger than their fighting weight. You get a 175-pound D tackle that plays like he's 205, and a bunch of kids that that play together, play good team football. So last week they got a 12-0 win. Kind of hard to tell
exactly
whether what Jessup was like, but Wapsie looked strong. Wapsie looked like they're going to be having a solid A football team this year.
Yeah, and the big ground attack too. I looked at pretty unbalanced. I think they had six passing attempts, and then I don't know what the number. Obviously, a lot more rushing attempts, but sometimes you don't even know what a team looks like based off of week one. They change so much, and it depends on the team that they're playing. And
yep.
There's a lot of things that can happen too. I mean, last week, again, regarding how hot it was too. I mean, sometimes if you're running people, 4 wide and running them down the hill over, across the field, that's a recipe for disaster too. So. Well, look, we've got our captains out there, and I'm trying to remember the numbers off the top of my head. Is that Alex Moran?
Alex Moran, Evan Dorn, Keaton Rothmeyer, and Logan Beatty.
Oh, just a great group right there. Tell you what, you got two down in the trenches boys. Evan Dorn's kind of I call it a hybrid player. Like you could put him.
He's a football player. That's the only way you can call him. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then Rothmeyer, he has improved leaps and bounds on both sides of the field.
He was a strong player last year, and I think he's even more ready. That last year, there's times confidence that he'd go up and down playing corner, but I had to convince him a couple times, like how good you are at this position and how good you are a receiver. Those are 4 really good football players. Some of those guys are going to be going on to play college football, but all of those 4 are very good high school football players.
Absolutely. Well, so it looks like the Cyclones are going to kick the ball off, going from south to north here in the first half, and Wapsie will take the ball and start with the ball on offense, which I'm excited to watch them play offensively. They tend to put a kind of an I formation, kind of a power formation right away, and then clearly based off of last week, I think they're going to try to pound the rock tonight.
Well, I'll tell you what, they've always been a zone running there, back and forth there. They've had some eye stuff. It kind of reminds you, they're not wearing the old traditional Iowa jerseys that it looked like back in the past. They've got the black, pants now. They lost the stripes on the side. If anything, that's, I wish they would stick to the Iowa jerseys as a big Iowa fan. But they almost, were reminiscent of Iowa football back in the day, just being able to have it some tight end sets, some fullbacks. It's a little different, but at the same time now they still have kind of that Iowa football style.
Well, hey, let's looks like the teams are taking the field. It's amazing how fast this goes. Let's get our starting defensive lineup out there tonight. And so we've got 2 defensive ends here, Will Lockhart and Alex Moran. And then our 2 defensive tackles are Cody Kepke and Corbin Hill. And at strong safety, which I don't know what that is called, a strong safety in this defense, is Jackson Scoville, Jackson Sanderson playing as free safety, Ethan Scoville, and as a cornerback, and Keaton Rothmeyer as the other cornerback. Your will linebacker is Jackson Olmstead, and your Mike is Evan Dorn. And then you guys call, what is it? Is it cash position?
It's cash, dollar. They've
okay.
called a couple different names there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just basically Will, Mike, and I call it like a Sam linebacker.
It's a walk down safety.
Yeah.
You'll play kind of safety in that hybrid spot.
And that's Mike Greer. And gosh, you just think about. I know these kids. Obviously, they're just positioned in great places for them to be successful, and can't wait to see this start. So I'm gonna hit clear, and get that out of the way, and then overlay. And here comes Jackson Sanderson to kick the ball off. And we got a muff kicked off. This is going to be a great situation for the Cyclones if they can break down a tackle. Oh, they do an awesome job. So it looks like Wapsie Valley is going to take over on their own 12 or 13-yard line. We got a Cyclone that is still on the ground here. Might have taken a shoulder to the knee pad there.
Yeah, kind of a muffed catch there. Not a great situation for Wapsie there. Denver has a kid down as well, so that's not a great situation. It looks like it's a linebacker starting down, or Olmstead. Right there, huge for Denver just to be able to start with a big field behind them, able to kind of pin Wapsie deep and maybe be a little more aggressive on defense right from the get-go.
Oh, I mean, I think the up back tried to pick that ball out of the air at like the 25-yard line, and then that thing just scooted way past him. So they lost at least 10, 15 yards in field position just if that guy took a knee. All right, so looking at the broadcast analytics here, we were sitting at 64 unique people that were watching the broadcast. And hey, anybody that's listening to the broadcast, let us know if there's a lag behind our voices and the video. All right, so Wapsie Valley's in a shotgun formation. They're going to pass the ball right away, and the Cyclones give pressure, almost get a sack. And we have a flag in the backfield. It could be a hold or...
I think we're going to get a face mask here. I mean, right away from the get-go, that almost looked like a screen there, inside. Both D tackles got through. Quarterback steps up, and it looks like Will Lockhart has got a little high on the face mask of the quarterback. Quarterback did a really nice job of stepping up in the pocket there, but good pressure from inside from Denver. So kind of a unfortunate, penalty for the Cyclones, but aggressive defense and... you like what you see there, the pass rush right away.
And it looked like on the back end, the quarterback didn't see anybody that was open either. I didn't hit a replay on there, so I'm not sure, but pretty nice play. It's only, a 5-yard penalty there, so just a...
They're going to call it the incidental type there rather than the personal foul.
All right, so we got a 1st down and 5 on the Cyclones, on the Wapsie Valley 17-yard line. They're in a shotgun formation. A bad snap. Quarterback makes a play out of something, maybe gains a yard or two.
Right there, well done here by Wapsie quarterback there, Caden Decker, just to get 1 or 2 there. Right there, Wapsie there, a lot of young players as well. You're going to have some bad snaps, and if you can make it 2nd and 4 out of that situation, well done. Denver's, going to have to take advantage of some mistakes here, but you can tell a little bit sloppy these first 3 plays.
Oh, I mean, it is a rivalry game, and Cyclones, they want to beat the Warriors and vice versa. All right, so we're back in the shotgun formation. We kind of have 3 receivers-ish to the left. Looks like they're going to just hand the ball right behind that lead blocker, and it's a gain of about 2 or 3 for leading to a 3rd down and short.
Yeah, right there. Well done, Alex Moran. Inside right there, playing that D tackle spot. He's kind of coming from defensive end, actually. They've switched him inside and out there. I don't know if they're reading the defensive end there, but Alex Moran bit down pretty hard there and tackled him kind of on the spot there. Didn't get drugged for too much, and we're going to have a 3rd and short, first kind of test for the Cyclones.
All right, so looking at the play clock, 18 seconds left. The Warriors bring the play in from Coach Foster, younger Coach Foster. Going to make sure I say that. All right, so Wapsie Valley's in an I formation, tight end to the left, 2 receivers split out in each direction. They hand it right to the fullback.
Stuffed right at the marker. I think they're going to get it there with the first mark. It looks about a half yard off in front there, but good hit there. Both middle linebackers coming up to stiff. Right there, that's not a that's a 1st down for Wapsie, but that was a 1st and 5 from the start. So a pretty good defensive series there for first 3 plays for Denver.
That was a stick. It looked like that was just a fullback dive. All right, they're going to go faster here. Shotgun formation, 3 receivers to the right, and they're going to pass it again, but they're going to use Kanan's legs. I think Cannon's got about maybe about 2 reads, and then he's looking to run the ball.
Well, right there's both times on the 2 pass plays we've seen there, both the defensive ends have come really far upfield here. I don't know if that's, just they're kind of pinning their ears back going after him there, but there is some voids there, and he's taking advantage of just getting what they give him.
All right, so we go right back to that shotgun formation, tight end to the right, 2 receivers to the left, kind of halfback on the right side. And they're going to hand it off, and number 24, Jackson Olmstead, in there like a missile.
That's always fun there when Coach calls you on a blitz and you hit it perfectly like that, and you get a TFL right there. Well done, Jackson Olmstead there. He found a great run through there. And then there, way to hit the running back in the backfield and send him backwards there. Good job, Jackson Olmstead.
Yeah, that was just an awesome hit. That was fantastic. All right, so now we're sitting at third and probably a 7. And it'll be an option, triple option. Oh, nice pitch. And the running back made a man miss at the line of scrimmage and then scooted ahead for about an 8-yard gain. So it'll be 1st and 10, the Warriors at about the 36-yard line.
We ran some triple option when I was in high school there, and I don't think I ever pitched the ball because I just was maybe too selfish or didn't trust it. But that was a pretty triple option, and then when it's executed there, it's just pretty football. Not something you see from Wapsie traditionally, but new look there, and it was successful for Wapsie.
Uh-oh, I just screwed this up. Sorry. We got a ball batted at the line of scrimmage. Was that by Will?
Looked like Will Lockhart, your left defensive end, got his hands up on a little quick slant over to the right side for Wapsie. Well done there, getting your hands up there. If you can't get a pass rush, get your paws up there and see if you can create some havoc.
All right, so my ability to share some of these clips on social media appears to not exist.
It'll come back.
Well, so I think this program, and I'm sorry, folks, we'll get back to the action and talk between the plays. We have a handoff right away, and the running back cuts way to the left because there was no hole in the middle. But we got a 11-yard rush from the Warriors and another first down.
Hunter Curley here, he got plenty of carries. He only had 3 carries last week. He's a sophomore, but put his foot in the ground there. That was the way he finished the run there. I think he found contact right at the chains there and fell forward. That was a run where he got to the second level pretty well. So Wapsie Valley's offensive line, wearing down a little bit, or wearing Denver's D line a little bit.
Well, and they play much faster. I mean, they're up to the line of scrimmage within 10 seconds, and I think they're going to play fast. All right, so we've got a drop back pass by Decker of the Warriors, and he again pulls it down. But I don't think he gets back to the line of scrimmage. That'll be the first sack of the football game by the Cyclones.
Evan Dorn there kind of looked like he was playing that spy position. Right there, looked like Cannon Decker was did the first 2 times looking for an easy run there, and it's going to be a little closer to maybe, I don't know if it's a sack or not. The officials are moving the ball right to the 2nd and 10, but Evan Dorn maybe spying the quarterback, waiting for him to step up, and he was right there when he did.
All right, so the Warriors are going to sit in 2nd and 10. Again, 2 wide receivers split to the left, tight end to the right. They're going to motion the halfback across the formation to the left. And they're going to do just a quarterback kind of a not a lead, but QB lead play to the left for about 2 yards.
Well, that looks like the old Packers sweep there. There wasn't enough polars maybe to call it the Packers sweep there, but it said right there, we're going to go trips left, we're going to outflank you, and we're going to try to just outrun you and have enough people blocking people in there. Cannon Decker, you could tell right there, is one of their better athletes, and it seems like they're going to rely on his legs a little more than they even did last week.
Well, I like their formation here. I mean, it gives him an opportunity to see the field, and they're giving him a lot of chances to just make decisions. All right, so we have the same formation, but it's just reversed, so 2 receivers to the right. Quarterback's going to roll out, and he looks like he was just going to take it and run the entire time, and he makes 2 Denver Cyclones miss, and he is still rumbling down. That is first down, Wapsie Valley on the legs of Cannon Decker.
Right there, he had 19 carries last week. This week, he's already got 5 to his name. That's going to be a lot of wear and tear for Cannon Decker. Right now, he's already kind of hunched over, but at the same time, what a great effort there. Rolls out right, gets right outside the defensive end, and eludes a tackle for a first down.
So that didn't look like he was even thinking he was going to throw it. I mean, it looks like it was just a bootleg, but a run. All right, so we have looks like a trap play. The Cyclones are there to stuff it. Will Lockhart putting him on the ground.
Right there, that was a great play, defensive tackle play there. Right now, if you look at the defensive lineman of the Cyclones, a lot of shuffling there. I've seen Moran at inside. I've seen Will Lockhart going from left side to right side, but well done there. It looked like Logan Beatty was the first one there, and Moran kind of cleaned it up at the end there. But that trap play is going to be tough when you got guys like Logan Beatty in the inside and Cody Koepke as well. He doesn't get moved real well.
And I credit that. It was number 60, Alex Moran, that looked like he kind of ended up putting the finishing touches on it. So, all right, so we're going to have two receivers split out to the left, and we've got a tight end to the right, and your halfback split out there as well. They're going to bring that split end in a little bit tighter. And they're gonna pass the ball as low and on the ground and incomplete.
This may be a growing issue for Wapsie there. First, the first couple pass plays, it's looked right there as though they've kind of used the Denver's aggression of, their defensive line against them there. But right there, way too quick. Cody Koepke, I don't know what move he made to get up the field there too much, but it was right in Cannon Decker's face immediately, right off the snap. So well done on the inside interior pass rush.
Yeah, Cody Koepke is explosive.
He's explosive. He's kind of a stump there. He's 5'8", but he is powerful.
All right, so we're in I formation. Looks like the Cyclones might be coming on a blitz. They are. The Wapsie Valley traps right into it. They called a perfect play for that situation. Oh, boy. And they get, 12-yard carry.
Well, this is the kind of the concern right now is third downs. You never wanted this first drive right now as we're already sitting at a 7-minute drive for the Cyclones, and I think there's been 4 third-down conversions. As a defensive coordinator, you can see right there as you start worrying about your defense's, conditioning at this moment. But a great play, Wapsie. They've hit on the right plays at the right time to keep their drives alive.
And you got to think as they enter into our 30-yard line, not quite in the red zone, that they're going to look at 4-down territory and here out. We have a quarterback follow. Kind of fakes that fullback and didn't follow him tight. He looked like he was going around, but that is a nicely sniffed out play by the Cyclones.
Well, I'm getting the vibe here. If you look at the stats here, Cannon Decker with 19 carries the first game. He's a running quarterback. He's going to be there. He's going to be with a little bit more with his legs and his arm there, but it's almost looking, there's some, maybe some new school Navy offense here with that little spin back option. I think he had a pitch man to his left.
All right, so we got an I formation here sitting on the Cyclones' 25-yard line. Tight end to the right. Again, looks like it's going to be a triple option play. The Cyclones do a nice job of not overrunning this. And big loss.
Well done from the Cyclone there. Great penetration. The first man necessarily didn't make the play, but he turned Decker back into the rest of the Red Hats. That was great gang tackling there. I think that was Cody Koepke that got up the field and turned him back. And there was too many Red Hats there for me to find out who was the actual, cleaner up rather. But good team tackling. 3rd and long.
So this is a tough play. I expect Kanan to drop back and then potentially look to get as much as he can on his feet. Yeah, he wanted to step up. The Cyclones keep contained, and they smack him. Evan Dorn finished him off.
He might start thinking about throwing the football a little more if he's going to take hits like that. There's one thing that Evan Dorn does well, and he doesn't hesitate at football. There's many things he does well. I shouldn't say one, but one thing that I love about his football style is he is not a hesitator. He sees football, and he comes up hard here. You're going to see him. Cannon Decker's going to come up, and Evan Dorn's going to absolutely – he takes out maybe a Cyclone with him, but at the same time there, I think both Cyclone and Cannon Decker felt that hit.
All right, so big 4th down. The Cyclones are hoping to repeat the same thing they did on 3rd down. It looked like it was a blitz. We're going to do a fade route. Wapsie's open, and they connect for a nice touchdown, long touchdown on 4th down.
There's sometimes not bad defense over there, really actually close defense. Ethan Ryder was, right on his inside hip here. You got to give credit there. That was a put in a bucket there. Cannon Decker there, and I believe that was was it 24 or was it 2 there? But it was, I think it was a Sauerbrei catching that ball, which is a Wapsie name. I don't want to be wrong on that, but all I know is that ball was delivered on time and absolutely beat the very good defense at least.
Well, it looked like our cornerback was almost a step behind, but he turned and looked, and just when he turned and looked, I think he lost track of the ball. He was in pretty good position. Oh, and PAT just wings the ball up in the field, and it falls harmlessly to the turf. And the Warriors are going to take a 6-0 lead after a big drive over 9 minutes.
That's a tough series for the Cyclones there. Tough for them right now is that they had 4th and 14. They had a 3rd and 8. They had a 3rd and 9. They had plenty of opportunities to get the Wapsie Warriors off the field there, and definitely some missed opportunities. I know that, Coach Isaac Barrett, son of Rhett Barrett, he's defensive coordinator, is going to be talking about maybe some missed tackles there, some missed, gaps and things, but definitely some missed opportunities for Cyclones to get their offense on the field.
Yeah, I don't know. As soon as he threw that ball up in the air, I mean, he had a good amount of time, and it looked like the Cyclones adjusted. Right, they didn't sit and rush heavy. They kind of showed a rush, but he did a nice job of stepping back and throwing a catchable ball for his receiver, and he went up and got it.
I appreciate good quarterback play. Cannon Decker there, after taking a big shot the last play before there, you deliver a ball like that. That shows some guts. That shows some moxie there. That was a tough play, and right there, that's kind of, Wapsie will do that. They will take some shots, and they've hit on some shots in this Denver rivalry, and that's been, a successful recipe for them. So I wouldn't be surprised if you're going to see some balls deep out, outside the left and right of the hashes there again, later this game.
All right, so Wapsie Valley sitting on their 40-yard line, looking to kick it north to south. And our two backs are going to be Ethan Ryder, and then is that number 1, Keaton Rothmeyer? Or number 1, Jackson Sanderson, sorry.
Looks like to be Ethan Ryder back there.
Oh, he's got a big seam. And, he just had one guy to miss. Oh, boy, he had 3 or 4 up backs, and I think if he would have just waited for them for a moment, it would have set him up.
That is hard when you saw, because you could hear with Mr. Coach Pickett's inflection in his voice there. He saw the seam there. There was a large gap in the middle of that field there. Ethan Ryder there with all that speed, he might have outran it there, but you could tell right there there's a lot of green right in the middle of the field. Get a great tackle there by Tucker Landberg there, because that would have been a house call for Ethan Ryder for sure if you would have broke that one.
All right, so the Cyclones with awesome field position. They're going to start on their own 46-yard line, and they're in an I formation. ISO right away. Big hole for Micah Greer, who's in the second level. He's at the 30-yard line. He's at the 20. He's at the 10. He's at the 5. Nobody's going to catch him. Touchdown, Cyclones.
Wow. What a different, what a varying styles here. Wapsie drives it down. I would say is probably about a 13, 14 play drive, 9 minutes. Cyclones almost have a house call on the kickoff return. First play of scrimmage from the offense there. Touchdown, Micah Greer there. Bounce, great vertical running, great blocking there. Micah Greer finishing it with the speed there. Fun football, different styles.
Got to the second level, and then Micah Greer, who's a track athlete and runs really hard there. You can see his track speed after he got about 7 yards into the defense. Jackson Sanderson kicks it, but it looks like it is good. I didn't know if it was wide left, so they take a 7-6 lead with a drive of 12 seconds. 12
seconds there. We should time out Micah's 100-meter dash, and that was about that, maybe a little less there. But what a great answer for Denver. You've got to be a little bit concerned. I mean, both teams here, being small schools, you have a lot of kids playing both ways. So in the end here is, you are concerned from Denver's defense playing too many snaps. But at the same time, I bet a lot of those kids from Wapsie's offense are playing on their defense and vice versa. So, big series for Wapsie there, but great answer for the Cyclones to score quickly.
And I think you hit it there, like two totally different drives, but I don't know which one breaks your back more. I know in the fourth quarter, the nice 9.5 minute drive could, but these kids, you're right. I mean, if they play 15 to 20 kids, they're playing every single position, right? They're sprinting up and down the field. You have kids that sometimes cramp up more on these special teams plays because you're getting full speed for over 2 or 3 seconds. So that was impressive. The last two plays on both sides before the touchdown that scored the touchdowns were big. We had a 55-yard run by Mike.
55, yeah, it was definitely over midfield.
Right, and then a 25-yard run, touchdown pass, I think at least by Cannon Decker. So big plays. All right, so Jackson Sanderson's going to wind up here after that that make extra point, and the Warriors take it at about the 11-yard line, and they move it up the field to about the 22, 23, and there's a flag thrown by, I don't know what the officials are called. That's the back judge. It's somebody that is on the south side of the field.
Well, I'll tell you, Denver got a great coverage there. A lot of guys getting deep into that, the kickoff return there. Great breakdown tackle there by Ethan Ryder. Maybe still a little bit miffed off about that, pretty good coverage that was thrown. A good ball beat him on that, but way to break down a tackle. And I bet 95% of these penalties on kickoffs are going to be on the receiving team. And it looks to be right there on Wapsie Valley, a block in the back. That's going to shorten their field again. So Denver's going to have a good defensive field position to start this drive against Wapsie again.
So we've had 160 different people check into this broadcast so far. And that's a pretty good number for the first broadcast of the season. I always feel like this is a pirate broadcast.
Pirate broadcast. Well, Pickett's trying to make me nervous. He's like, we're big time, 160. We're in 3 digits.
Oh, it's triple digits. All right, we've got a handoff. Looked like kind of an outside, I don't want to call it power play, like a belly play. Cyclones do a good job of stopping that before it had any traction for no gain or maybe a gain of 1.
Right here, this is going to be the biggest thing here is, Wapsie's got some confidence here as a series that they can play a long drive. They can play on third down. So this is going to be a big series for the Cyclones to prove right there is that they can get Wapsie off the field, but that's a great start winning first down like that.
So we get back into that kind of shotgun formation, 2 receivers to the left, halfback to the right. And it's just given right off to a handoff. It almost looks like it's not a dive play because the halfback's coming in, just a different angle of an ISO there for about a 2-yard gain.
Yeah, right there is just what you saw on the front. The front for the Wapsie there is a lot of doubles there. Almost looks like a duo block where there's zone blocking, and the running back is just trying to read the linebackers there. If the linebacker takes that inside run through, he's supposed to bounce it out. But a nice job of the Denver D-line holding up and making really no gaps to go through.
All right, so we are in the shotgun formation. A receiver split out each direction, tight end to the right. The running back kind of shifts to the right side as well. And they're going to not roll him. No, they got huge pressure. And Kenny Decker tries to keep his feet, but it is sack city, I think.
Cody Koepke on the inside. Great inside moves. He's good right there. So I think Pickett's going to find you the replay here. But if you do here, when we see here, is watch Cody Koepke, left defensive tackle. He's going to use a great move. He's going to go up, and then he's going to swim back to the inside here and fall right into Kenny Decker stepping up in the pocket here. Goes right, and then he's going to go back under. Cannon Decker's right into 66's arms. Great play there. He's been having some great penetration early in this game.
I don't even know if he made much of a move. They just they put a hand on him. He just shrugged it off. All right, so we have who's back there returning? Ethan Ryder, and he doesn't touch the ball. It's yeah, there's a lot of flags. I don't know. That punt was only going to get to about the the Wapsie Valley 40.
You had a lot of flags early, so I'm going to guess this was either a legal formation or Denver was offsides, in that encroachment area there in that neutral zone too early of the game on the snap.
All right, so I just saw Coach Barrett. He's a little bit upset here, so I'm interested in what the call is going to be. I think we have the officials mic'd up. Not on this broadcast.
We might have too many illegal formation, too many guys playing.
No, he kicked it, right? Was it running
well,
into the kicker?
If you have – there's that is the legal formation sign that you got there, but I don't know in the end here is if it's it looks like the false start symbol, but at the same time here is if you have too many men on the field, I'm trying to just kind of get some feedback from where the ball's being placed. I'd love to hear the ref's mic, but hey, it's a mystery. We're gonna learn together.
Oh, so it looks like they're gonna repunt the ball, which
I would guess that would be Wapsie's choice. The punt was not great. It was inside probably the 38-yard line, so I'm going to guess that Denver might have been lined up over I think they might have been lined up over the long snapper, which is illegal, and that might give him a chance to repunt.
I tell you what, I've said it before. I wouldn't keep punting it to Ethan Ryder. I don't think they're going to try to let him have it catchable, and he doesn't have a lot of room here. All right, so with that decision, I think the Warriors gained about 5 yards off of that.
The 5-yard penalty roared in 5 yards there, and tell you what, you could tell you were right about if you look down at Coach Barrett, head coach Barrett. He does not like penalties, especially in special teams there. I think he's a little gun shy for some games back when I was in high school where we had some personal fouls at extended drives and maybe lost us a couple of games. So I know the energy those boys are feeling there, and they're probably a little bit scared of, Red Barrett, but, he's harmless.
Well, at the end of the day, playing clean, there's times where just mistakes happen, but playing clean is a tenet of winning football games. All right, so the Cyclones are going to be in a shotgun formation here, 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right, and we have our halfback split to the right side. Motion across the formation by Evan Dorn. They fake it to him, and they pass it out to number 3 here.
I appreciate the feedback text over here. I'm getting some text if we're ahead or behind there, so I appreciate that. I might not text you back, but I do. We want a good production here, and so I appreciate you getting that text. Tunnel screen to the left there, Keaton Rothmeyer. I knew that was some of the stuff they worked on there. They talked about tunnel screens, and they asked, some boys asked me if I like the tunnel screen. I like it when it's designed like that, and you get guys in Keaton Rothmeyer's hands because he's got some wiggle. I said it last year, the word wiggle was them, and 11-yard gain before really any contact.
Yeah, and they gave a massive cushion. He made one man miss and just went north and south. And I think that's probably the biggest difference that I see with him, or just in a couple plays, is that he's going to put his foot in the ground and get those yards. A lot of not just yards after catch, but yards after a little bit of contact.
And looking back, let me take back the tunnel screen. That looked to be just basically a quick hitch or a stop right there, and then Keaton Rothmeyer, getting the ball in his hands quickly and making a vertical move there. So, yeah, they talk about tunnel screens here, but right here, as you can see, no one's coming out there. But nice job, Jackson, getting the ball out and accurate, and then Keaton makes one guy miss, gets 11. So that's the first quarter for us, and what a first quarter that was. That was what do you think, Pickett? Oh, what was your I'll give you the color analysis on this. What was your thoughts in that first quarter?
Well, I felt like fundamentally, if you look at every play that happened here, I think out of the 3 plays, the Cyclone defense looked great for 2, and then Wapsie Valley just gutted him for like a 11, 15-yard gain, and that just occurred over and over. They were pretty clean except for the face mask, at least in the first drive. So Wapsie Valley doing a great job just sustaining a drive and finishing off on 4th down and 15 with a 25, 30-yard fade. And then Kanan Decker was massive on that entire first drive. And then, Denver responds significantly with a Micah Greer 55, just gallop right through the center of the Warrior defense, and the Cyclones in a big way forced the Warriors in a 3-and-out. So maybe we'll see a little bit more here. Cyclones with their 3rd offensive touch here, and they've had a 55-yard gain and then an 11-yard gain. All right, so we're in a shotgun formation. Again, motion, bad snap. Jackson Sanderson does a good job and I don't know if it was a bad snap or Jackson just didn't handle it, but keeps possession, but about a 40-yard loss.
Yeah, you got a short field here. That's a good job here. You are in 4-down territory. I know Jackson Sanderson a little bit there from personal experience. I know he was looking for something there, but you see that many white bodies there right after picking up the snap there. It's a good decision to go down, play 2nd and 15 here, and maybe get a couple chunk plays to get you back in 3rd manageable, 4th and manageable.
All right, so we got 2nd down and 15 yards right here. We've got a receiver split in each direction, I formation, tight end right. And we're going to hand it off, kind of an ISO to the left, and it looks like they're going to gain maybe 2. Looked like it was going to go a little bit further, but then just got cut down.
Well, that looked right there to be Evan Dorn in the backfield there. 7 and 8, we got Evan Dorn and Micah Greer. They're going to be the 2 backfield. They will change a little bit. Evan Dorn's normally the fullback and Micah the tailback, so I might be off on those numbers. But right there they're going to kind of work both those guys throughout this game so they can keep both those legs fresh. Micah got a big long run there, and that one, another interior run there for maybe 2-3 yards. But we got 3rd and 13, and Cyclones going to have to find someone here to make this 4th down manageable, or go bigger now.
All right, so Cyclones in the exact same formation. Tight end to the right, and they're going to roll Jackson out. Jackson does a great job of getting off the pass, and Evan Dorn is running as hard as he can. Finally gets brought down by 3 Warriors. The official threw a flag right at it, so I don't know if there's holding on the wide receiver out wide.
I don't know in the end here's what was up at the top of the field. I don't know if Denver Cyclone, made contact with the cornerback and was blocking early there, but, if you wanted the positive of the play there, Jackson Sanderson there, he looked like he was going to be able to sprint out, stopped and kind of threw it off his right foot there, and hit Evan Dorn right in stride there. So I'm not exactly sure the penalty is. I'm watching that up here now on the replay, and it looks like it might have been just another man downfield there. We got the crossers, and I cannot tell you what the flag was, especially if we're coming from the side judge.
All right, so I'm listening to, I think, K-Way broadcasting over here. So
thanks for the assist, K-Way.
So illegal man downfield, is that what the call is?
I think that's what we're getting here. I didn't necessarily see a man pass 3 yards there, but right away that side judge did see that lineman, downfield, you got to make sure you stay close to the line of scrimmage. I know in high school you get a little more leadway than you do in the league and, college, stuff like that. But, yeah. This is going to put Cyclones even further behind the chains, third and about 18 or 17.
All right, so we're in kind of the same formation again. So I'm interested in what the call is going to be, if we're going to do a sprint out or if we're just going to run the football. And we're going to do a fullback. It was an option, and Jackson ended up giving it to the fullback, and it maybe was about a yard or two.
Right there, triple option there. Maybe the Cyclones thinking they can catch Wapsie off balance there, thinking they're going to make a big long play there, going after a big play. Right there, if the read was to give it to the fullback there, it's hard to ask them to get 17 yards, and Wapsie Valley defense holds strong there and, wins first down, and that kind of derailed the whole Cyclones drive after that.
All right, so we got Jackson Sanderson about 12 yards away from the line of scrimmage, punting the ball. He does it all, quarterback, playing free safety on defense, kicking the ball, he's a field goal kicker as well, and he punts should have been inside the 10-yard line. He might be a little bit frustrated.
If we were taking, actually, we're getting it right on the 10 there, but if we were going to look at the sabermetrics and, really well done there. Actually, that was kind of a tight spiral punt there, but you know what? As a coach, as a former coach, I guess, it's always easiest when you can say, hey, we're going to punt, quarterback, pop out back there. You don't have to make too many changes out there, but Jackson, maybe not just, by ease there. That was a good punt, and that sat down right on the 10 and pretty good coverage.
Yeah, that was a nice special teams play, and it puts the Warriors 90 yards away from pay dirt. All right, so Wapsie Valley is going to do a hand right off to the fullback, and he just got hit maybe right at the line of scrimmage. He eked out a yard, so it'll be 2nd down and 9.
Right defensive end there. That kind of looked maybe like a fullback ISO left. Almost ran into each other, quarterback and fullback there, kind of bounced them out wide, but Alex Moran did a nice job of being there early there, and we had number 62 for Denver here. It's got to be a new face there because I don't want to make sure I get it for you because –
is that Corbin?
Corbin Hill there,
yep.
And he's been playing some D-tackle there, but between those two, they did a nice job of shoring up that left side.
And the Warriors are, again, about their own 11 or 12-yard line. They're in a shotgun formation, 2 receivers to the left, and it looks like somebody's going to call a timeout.
We got Coach Foster for Wapsie walking out there. I think something they didn't like there, and early on in these games here, we haven't seen a whole lot of ugly football. It's game 2 here, and I haven't seen a whole lot of confusion. It looks like both teams are organized. Maybe not the cleanest. We've had a couple of bad snaps, but overall it's been pretty good there.
All right, so if you're just catching us on the game here, I'm going to try to get us to at least like the scoring opportunities. Here we go. So let's go to a replay. So for the Warriors, again, we're sitting at I think a 4th down play. I'm sorry. We had a sack by the Cyclones. And again, if we've got Wapsie Valley Warriors here, me and Coach Frost aren't going to pretend to sit and run like an unbiased broadcast here, but I do apologize. I would have liked to have gotten that replay out here. But after that sack, the Warriors eventually drove a little bit further, and 4th and long, they ended up scoring. And then the Cyclones responded the very next offensive touch, so their first touch of the football game, with a 55-yard touchdown run by Micah Greer. And then we've had a little bit more defensive football. I think both defenses have kind of settled in a little bit here, and it's going to be a long game.
Yeah, this might be a 12-round boxing fight here, feeling each other out.
All right, so we got the Warriors, who are pretty heavy to the right. They got a tight end, 2 receivers, and their halfback. And the Cyclones just swallow that play up.
that's got to be encouraging right now. Is that, if you talk about those first drives here for Wapsie Valley, it's kind of, the analogy I have for you is they've been hitting really well with 2 strikes. They continue to get a base hit, just taking what they give there. But one of the concerning things I'd say for Wapsie right now is the penetration of the D-line. The D-line has been absolutely dominant for Denver. You can see right here is that Denver's going to get 3 or 4 guys in the backfield. Some of it's good moves, some of it's bull rushes, some of it's just straight power, like I said, bull rush. But the D-line has been the star of the defensive line has been a star of this defense so far for Denver.
All right, so we're in 3rd down and 11. This has been money so far for the Warriors. And right back to the pass, Caden Decker running with his feet, makes another man miss, gets outside, and just does a fantastic job of picking up a huge chunk of yardage, maybe 25 yards on that carry.
And this is going to be, that's once again, I talked about hitting with 2 strikes here, changing sports to baseball, but right there, 3rd and long, can't get your defense off the field there. Penetration's there. I think right there, if you look at Cannon Decker there, he wants to run. He's going to step up in the pocket. Once again, defense, he's going to slide underneath there, and he's going to make a move on the linebacker. That's not an easy play for the linebacker to, tackle a kid. And I think Decker's proven to have a little more, shiftiness than even probably Denver, assumed he would.
And 2 guys had a chance for keeping him contained on the inside, but that's easier said than done. He is pretty shifty. All right, so the Warriors, again, handed off to their tailback, but I tell you what, the Cyclones have a pretty good read on when Kanan's handed the ball off.
First down, they've won first down, I think, every time right now. There hasn't been a chunk play in first down there. Well done there, well-timed blitz there. I think Jackson Olmstead blitzed right into that, and I think the inside there, I want to give that to Corbin Hill again, holding his ground and turning things right back into the blitz.
All right, so the Warriors are going to take over here at 2nd down and 12. Kanan is sitting in the shotgun. He steps back, looking for a receiver. The Cyclones almost jump it. That's Keaton Rothmeyer gets in and does jump it and causes an incompletion there. Nice job.
That was well-timed there. Right there. Tell you what, Cannon Decker stood tall in the pocket there. He got his 1 count right on his, back on his first hitch there. Threw that, delivered it. A pretty good ball there, but when you timed that ball out and played the ball really well, that's something that's hard for high school kids to do. Is not play the body of the receiver, but to find the ball and make sure an incomplete pass on just flat out playing the ball.
All right, so let's see what we're gonna see from the Warriors here. I have no doubt that they're gonna drop back and pass, and then see if there's a little bit more Cannon Decker magic. Let's see if the Cyclones can contain this a little bit better. So he does step back, but this is a design quarterback run, and the Cyclones feel that a little bit better and stop that for a short gain. So we're going to sit down in 4th and probably about 7. 4th and 6, 4th and 7.
Right here, this is, it looks to be punt territory. It looks like be some, personnel changes for the Cyclone or for the Warriors. I tell you what, I hate saying it. I'm probably going to say it all year in the broadcast. Anytime you're in that 45-yard range, I'm thinking punt. Or I'm thinking fake punt. So hopefully, I think the Cyclones are aware of it, but right about the 45-yard line.
Well, they got some of their best coverage people here. And, this is a punt all the way. And it comes off his foot pretty badly, but rolls another. Man, that rolled 15 more yards, so it ended up going to be at the same position that Jackson Sanderson pinned the Warriors down. The Cyclones are going to find themselves on their own 12-yard line.
Hey, there's a win for the Cyclones. That last drive there, after getting punched in the mouth again, it seems to be 3rd and long is, it's easy play to get them off the field there, get your defense on the field and get your offense on the field. It's been an issue for the Cyclones thus far. But right there is to be able to get Wapsie off the field, maybe lost some field position and some crucial field position there, especially we get a little later in the second quarter. But it's nice to see a punt there for the Cyclones to get this ball back on offense.
So we really haven't seen we haven't seen a whole lot of offensive plays from the Cyclones so far in this half, but they haven't taken a shot down the field. They got a chance to being this backed up, but they just decide to hand the ball right off to, I don't know who that was, if it was Evan or Micah, but he goes forward for about 4 yards, 3 or 4 yards.
And right there, as they have been seeming to go back and forth there, that was, once they go shotgun, I think Evan Dorn's going to be more in the backfield. That was their first shotgun snap, out of that formation. So Evan Dorn, he's a big kid. If you give him, right into that line of scrimmage, he's going to take 3-4 yards on contact and winning first down. I'd say 2nd and 6 right there is a successful play for the Cyclones to stay ahead of the chains.
All right, so we got a kind of a substitution here. It looks like we're having a little blood that has to be taken care of. They don't allow somebody bleeding on the field. So I don't know, 60 is that Alex Moran?
Alex Moran,
yeah,
yep.
Coming out real quick, and I think Corbin Hill steps in his place. All right, we look at that little kind of tunnel bubble screen right there, and that looks like a great little 8-9 yard pickup by number 11. Who's number 11?
Jackson Scoville.
Wow.
He's really improved this year. Jackson Scoville, number 11. He caught a touchdown pass last week for the Cyclones on great route, great time there. But one takeaway from that play right there is the timing on the short side of the field there, and even the last little, quick hitch there too from the Cyclones. The timing to the ball and the accuracy of Jackson Sanderson throwing these swings out wide, that's not an easy throw. It might look easy, but tell you what, you can throw them with accuracy to run like that after the catch. That was a great play.
All right, so we're going to take over first down on the Cyclones on 25-yard line. They're going to run an ISO play. Micah, that might be Evan Dorn. I'm trying to see. That's
Micah Greer, yep.
Yeah, Micah Greer holding on that football, 2 hands on each nose, and he rumbles ahead for a strong 8-yard carry.
I think we're learning here. So if they're in I, we're going to see Evan Dorn at fullback and Micah and tailback, and that's a great combination. Evan Dorn is kind of the hammer on defense, and putting him at the fullback spot, that seems to be the most natural spot there. But great job kicking the end out, fullback load, tailback load for the Cyclones. Evan kicks out, Micah goes right underneath for a nice chunk gain.
All right, so we're back into that I formation here. And I do like seeing power football. It's fun to watch, especially when it's working. And we're going to run. Looks like the same play just to the left, and Micah Greer just churning out another, probably 10 yards after he got hit.
Right there's running through arm tackles. That's something that Micah's gotten better. Micah's not a big by stature there. He's probably 5'7", 5'8". I'm sure he'd lie and say 5'10". He's definitely not that. But I'll tell you what, he's a strong kid. He's got some muscle. He's really worked hard in the weight room, and he's done a better job at running through arm tackles. That was something I saw in the Hansen film last week, is winning these first downs and also just not stopping his feet on contact.
Oh, I didn't mean to cut to us. Oh, geez.
Good. Hello.
Yeah, hello, everybody. All right. All right, so we're going to be, I call this kind of a diamond formation. That's not what it is, but we're going to hand it right off after the halfback who is motioning across. What that reminds me of is just a different way to run like a wing tee, where you bring in a motion back kind of across the field to kick somebody out. I know that's not the right way to describe it, but that's what when I look at that, that's what it looks like to me.
It's a double wing offense there. That's something that's I would say has been the staple offense of the Cyclones over the last 4 or 5 years. I'd say maybe even longer than that, and that's kind of the offense that they'll go to. But a lot more I today than we've seen even in years past.
Well, I mean, and they busted out that the I, and it was a different I. Hold up here. We got a keep play by Jackson Sanderson, and he's got a corner here. And rushes out. That was awesome. Those ends bit super hard. They had no idea he was keeping that ball.
That was nicely set up there. That play before they're kicking the end out with that motion back. This time right here, the motion back's going to run right by the defensive end, and it's going to look like that play, that dive to the inside is going to be there. It's hard for that defensive end not to bite down on that. But Jackson, nice job here showing the ball, and then he's going to go out. He's got a lead blocker there. We can almost find some little lead blocker. Go find some work there. We might even have more. Jackson Sanderson might be having a word with his lead blocker saying, go find some work and I'm going to score a touchdown for you.
That was, the timing of that. And that's something that people don't recognize, that it's not just being where you're supposed to be, it's being there at the right time. And that was a really well executed play. If I go back here a little bit, as the Cyclones hit about a 2-yard carry here, we're talking about Jackson Sanderson on the timing of that little short kind of like bubble screen. That's one thing that his delivery is a little unorthodox, and I know these quick throws like that step back and get a good ball there. From last week to just the 2 routes that I've seen here, much better. Feels like he's not forcing it too quickly. And
it's hard to get the ball in your hands quickly as a quarterback and be able to get that thing out there. And tell you what, he's doing it's a difficult task, but he's doing it very well thus far.
All right, so we're back in that I formation, tight end to the right. We're going to just do a toss to the right side, and Micah Greer does a nice job of making a couple Warriors miss. That looked like that could have been a play that was for no gain, and they're already calling for a first down.
Yeah, not a bad, good penetration from Wapsie there. It kind of reminded me of the Denver defense. You're in the right play to make the play in the backfield. Missed tackle there. Next thing you know, it's a 15-yard gain there, but not a bad, penetration there. Nice job on Micah Greer running through that arm tackle. I think the defensive ends had some really nice penetration up the field. But you can see right here is they got up there, a missed tackle there. That's going to be a difference. And Micah Greer finishing his run and going and getting 6 more.
I'm listening to K-Way, which also is including, Mr. Brad Lowers, and he's got a great radio voice. I don't think we're necessarily super orthodox, but I'm hearing them, and it's kind of fun doing the call down here. We've changed places a little bit, restructuring the booth up there just because there's more bodies up there now. But we've taken kind of the color broadcast individuals, so me and Joe Frost, and then any other radio broadcast that comes in, and we're in the weight room, just doing work here. And by the way, I wanted to ask you while we're taking a break here, weightlifting, and I don't want to call it weightlifting, strength and conditioning for our kids is something new that's been entered into high school. I don't want to say classes, but like during the school day.
During the school day, yeah. I got the privilege, this has been something in the works for a while. I didn't know you were going to bring this up on me, Pickett, but, I'm excited that I get to talk about it. So, we've been working to get some strength conditioning into our PE structure. And so far this year, Coach Barrett's been coaching, doing the boys there, and I say coaching there. I loosely call myself a strength conditioning coach now, which, I like adding more hats to my positions there. But, we've been able to get in the school day some time where we can get a full lift in, and it started this year, and so far we're 2 weeks in, and I feel really good about it. I like what's been happening. But yeah, thanks for give me a chance to talk about something I'm excited about, Pickett.
Well, I know that our kids are everywhere, and we talked about them being involved, and we have kids that are on this football team that are in the band. They're being involved in lots of stuff, and they gotta get sleep too. So trying to find ways to incorporate that in the work day is awesome. And we do a little trap play or a little dive play to whoever the fullback was. I don't think that was Evan Dorn, and he rumbles ahead for another 3 yards, and we're looking at third down and medium right now.
Well, full transparency, I haven't done a great job of letting kind of putting the clock involved in the game here. The Cyclones called that first time out, and right now we're getting close to a minute left in the second quarter here. Second quarter's been flying there, but the Cyclones offense maybe not as high flying, looking to score quickly here, but the offense seems to be pretty patient going, run heavy, even though this clock is, ticking right under 50 right now. So
I think they're gonna, they're either gonna get this first down or they're gonna get a nice. Oh, that's a nice pitch. Micah Greer's got the corner, and he's got a nice block by Keaton Rothmeyer. Micah Greer puts his shoulder down. Are they gonna signal this thing? Touchdown, Cyclones!
Pitch to your left there, Jackson Sanderson. He's doing a lot of difficult things there. I love good quarterback play. I know, I used to dabble with high school quarterback there. And I know the stuff that might be harder than others there. Just that, didn't always do the pitch to the left well. Told you I would never pitch it, but Jackson Sanderson pitched one to his left here, got it to his speed guy, and Micah Greer finishes it. So you made the right call there. You need to talk about Keaton Rothmeyer because that block was great there. If we see the replay, if you get a chance.
I just put it up there, but let's cut back to this.
Great play there by
that's what scored the touchdown. I know that Mike Greer is the guy that ran it, and he's going to get it on the stat line. And Jackson Sanderson misses, I think, the extra point there.
Looked to be a tough hold and kind of a low kick that kicked it. Maybe hit some Cyclones and before getting blocked.
Well, and folks, I'm sorry that I can't, the score isn't changing on here. The program I'm using, I can't move some stuff. Again, there's things that I'm still figuring out or relearning on here. But the score, if you guys have just joined us here, it's Denver 13 and the Wapsie Valley Warriors 6. And let's watch this replay here. And yes, there's so many things to highlight. Let's see if I can get back to it.
This is a pretty play. I'm excited about seeing this again here. I enjoy that we get this replay app here. But speed option left there to the weak side, right there. And you got Keaton Rothmeyer outside. Who this type of stuff there, you can't really until you're coaching enough there, a while there, I didn't appreciate how important blocking on the outside is. Keaton Rothmeyer takes his job really seriously on this player now. And, you don't have to necessarily drive this guy into the pine trees over here in Sharpfield, but you do need to make a nice block there, make it difficult for the cornerback to get off, and that's exactly what he did. Micah Greer did a nice job of reading there. So good little, good team play there. That's a fun play. That's a pretty play. I enjoy that. That's a good, that's good football.
Yeah, that again, we give a lot of credit. I mean, we've talked about Keaton Rothmeyer here and responsible for a touchdown, doing the dirty work. Savage gorilla out there, doing.
Wow.
Yes,
I wasn't ready for that word, but yeah,
he put that kid on the ground, and you call that just a stock block, but he stayed with it, and that was just fantastic. All right, so Jackson Sanderson, after that nice little pitch, again, it's almost like he threw a touchdown pass there. It's got to be in step. And he kicks the ball off, And that's in a kind of a dangerous location. Wapsie, not quite sure who's going to handle that. And let's see who comes up with the tackle. That's number 24. Is that Jackson Olmstead again?
Jackson Olmstead here. He's playing middle backer, but he's been the first one down on every coverage there. He's made some huge improvements in speed there because, freshman year, he, didn't maybe have the power like that just to get down the field like that. He's really, really getting down the field and making some good coverage. We got 32 seconds left here, pick in the first half here. Do you think Wapsie's going to take a couple shots out wide?
Well, I think what they're going to do, if I was them, is I would just drop back and have. I think their tight end's massive. I don't know who that is, and they're definitely not listening.
They're definitely not. They don't. You're not coaching Wapsie right now. You could tell.
No, but I would maybe just run him down the middle of the field and let the other guys go deep as well, and then if nobody's open, just tuck it and go. But they're gonna go to halftime. And you know what? They've played a pretty good game here. They had a nice little drive to start with, and this is going to be a game of adjustments here in the second half. I think. Thank you, sir. Yeah, and gosh, Mr. Score here. Maybe we should highlight him at some point in time. He's going to maybe run away. I don't know. There, he's getting out of here. He just gave us some water, some hydration, which is fantastic. But that was an entertaining half of football right there, Joe.
It was some good football there. A lot of pretty plays there, a lot of good football. Really, in the end years, I was thinking that Denver's deep offensive line and defense line was going to dominate there. First play for Denver from scrimmage, they bust one open there. I don't think Micah got touched the whole play. He might have got a hand on the arm, just a scrape as he ran by somebody. But right away, the offensive line was dominating. Wapsie's defensive line did settle in their backers there, and there wasn't as many chunk plays. But I'll tell you what, I think right now this first half, the Denver defensive line has been huge. Maybe not taking advantage of how dominant they've been because they've been maybe overrunning some plays, and Cannon Decker being a good athlete has made some guys miss. But I really like what the defensive line for the Denver Cyclones has done this half.
It's been offensively on the line and defensively on the line. I think it's been a great game, and the skill positions have done their part as well. So yeah. Kids and Coach Frost, I know we got to talk to some of these boys for a second because they've done a great job. But what I want to do before we do that is get to a video clip here. We'll talk about them in a little bit. But what a heck of a I got to import this. No, sorry, I'm thinking about how to do stuff here. I need to load at start clips. Here we go. All right, let's dissolve. So our volleyball team, and I'll let these plays go. But what a their efforts always consistently been there. This will cut. Oh no, get out of this. Come back. All right, so here's the band up here, and this is under the direction of Dan Cooper, and just a fun band program. He was one of the guys that was hyping the kids up today during our pep rally.
I don't know if he was prompted to. I think that was a last minute addition from Nate Scored. I saw him whisper to Cooper, but that guy, he's a good sport, and he lives for that moment of pumping the crowd up. He came up flexing in there and showing all his muscles. He's an entertaining guy, but he definitely got the crowd going, and that's a skill set he has.
So I will definitely talk about the football team here. I wish the only negative about not having anybody with stats here is that I don't have like numbers in front of me to see how we did. But if we look at total yardage, I would assume it's pretty even.
Well, both teams have been starting with deep fields there. Wapsie did bring the ball from probably about the 12-yard line, so they had an 88-yard drive on that one. And then right afterwards, pretty good field position for the Cyclones on a 55-yard run. So it's kind of been bouncing back and forth, and the Cyclones have had two. The next drive wasn't very long field. Actually, it was. It was another 80-yard. It was the deep possession there. So I'd say the Cyclones are probably 40, 50 yards on total offense here. But a lot more plays for Wapsie on offense than Denver so far. Denver's been a little more chunk plays than the grinded out series.
Absolutely. Well, so I've kind of figured this out. My eyesight, it can't see the people on the track, and I've been wondering why the band hasn't started. And I'm looking down the field, and I didn't forget. I didn't know the timing of it. But our cheerleaders, it's their senior night tonight, and then our cross-country athletes, it's their senior night as well. I wish that this video was going to allow them to be seen, but I'll at least go through their names here a little bit and make sure that we recognize them. We've got so many kids that do so many things here. So senior Haley Haskins, escorted by Megan and Jason Haskin. Her future plans are going to early education and maybe cheer in college. She's been involved in volleyball, soccer, and cheer. Advice for younger kids: don't take things so deep. Her favorite cheer memory is when we all went to Target and played hide and seek and then got kicked out and went to Walmart to play too. Tiana Thiessen has been escorted by her grandpa Joe Thiessen. Her future plans are graduating early and plan on attending a college in Des Moines area for psychology, biology, and pre-health. She's involved in wrestling, academic decathlon, cheer, rugby, and soccer. Her advice to the younger kids is don't let fear hold you back from success. We all start somewhere. Her favorite cheer memory are pool practices with the team. Tori Schroeder is escorted by Angie Schroeder. Her future plans are to be a social worker for child and family welfare. I would like to cheer in college and compete, but to be decided where. She's involved in cheer and soccer. Her advice is to show your confidence and don't shy away. Shying away from things keep you from doing what you're capable of. Her favorite cheer memory are Friday night lights and late night bee doves and haunted houses during October. But being the first to make All-State in Denver cheer history as a junior was an awesome memory. Also cheering at All-State. McKenna Carlson is escorted by Joe and I'm going to say this first name. Rhiannon. Okay, Rhiannon. I'm sorry about that. Rhiannon Carlson. Her future plans are to go to Hawkeye for nursing. She's involved in FFA, 4-H, YCC, cheer, trap shooting, and bowling. Her advice is to cherish every second, and her favorite cheer memories when we have hype Friday nights. We have a lot of seniors that are involved in stuff this year. Kylie Tiesinger is escorted by her mom and dad. She plans to attend Hawkeye Community College for occupational therapy. She's involved in 4-H, FFA, Youth County Council, that's YCC, cheer, and bowling. And her advice is always be willing to try new things. Her favorite memory was getting ready for the game and finding a kitten on the track. Avery Meyer, she's escorted by Angie Meyer and Brian Meyer. She plans on attending a university to study nutrition and to manage wrestling. She's involved as a wrestling manager in football cheerleading. Have fun is her advice. It doesn't have to always be so serious. And her favorite cheer memory, junior cheer with all the little girls. Caitlin Greenlee, she's escorted by John and Sandra Greenlee. Her future plans are planning to work at Wartburg, and she plans to work at Wartburg. She's involved in Cyclone and Wartburg cheerleading. Her advice is to be passionate and confident while maintaining stamina during cheers, workouts, and stretches. And her favorite cheer memory is doing splits out front. Anya Rapian, gosh, I can't say her name. Is it Rapian? She's being escorted by her parents, CJ and Tara. Her future plans are undecided. She's involved in cheer, bowling, and band. Advice for younger athletes: if at first you don't succeed, try and try again. Her favorite memory is team bonding at the pool in the summer with stunting whoever we wanted to. And then we have Kennedy Spence, escorted by Joe and Lainey Spence. Her future plans are attending University of Iowa for nursing. She's involved in band, choir, football cheer, and basketball cheer. Her advice is to build relationships with your teammates, and have fun, and work hard. Her favorite cheer memory is getting ready together as a team before games. And then we also have Ani Matthias, who is escorted by Holly and Kyle Matthias. Her future plans are to attend UNI. She's involved in soccer, cheer, and band. Advice for younger athletes are to be positive, and her favorite cheer memory is Friday night football. All right, and then we're going to have our senior cross-country athletes, and there are 12 of them. We'll start with Jarrett Clayton. His parents, he's being escorted by Jenny and Jeremy Clayton, and things that he's been involved with are cross-country, basketball, soccer, and Leo Club, and he plans on attending the University of Iowa to study biology. His favorite memories are singing songs with the team on the way back from meets. Connor Clinton is being escorted by Dana and John Clinton, and the stuff that he's been involved with is cross-country, basketball, and soccer. He plans on attending the University of Iowa, and his favorite memory is going to Lost Island with the whole team his junior year. Then we have Aubrey Decker, who's being escorted by Josh and Brooke Decker. She's been involved with track, cross-country, basketball, speech, choir, student council, Leo Club, and archery. And she wants to attend college majoring in something awesome while continuing running 400 hurdles and maybe the steeplechase. Yeah, she looks like she could be a steeplechaser. And her favorite memory is the sleepover after state her freshman year. We have Ava Duncan, who I got to see her today. I don't know if she's down on the track. Yes, she is. She just got out of surgery here a couple days ago. She's escorted by Chris and Jenny Duncan. Her activities have been cross-country, basketball, soccer, band, choir, Leo Club, student council, FCA leadership team, speech, and Cyclone Achievement Club. She is planning on either attending the University of North Carolina at Wilmington or Florida Gulf Coast University to study business. She is getting out of here. Her favorite memory is the slumber party after state their freshman year or long runs with the girls. Then we have Malia Gonerman, who's being escorted by her parents, Bruce and Danelle Gonerman. Her activities have been cross-country, basketball, golf, softball, band, FFA, and Leo Club. She is planning after high school to get her coaching license and continue her education. She'd be a great coach. Her favorite memory from cross-country is when the JV girls were pulled off the line by her coaches right before the race was to start at the New Hampton during her freshman year. And then we have Carson Hasse, who is being escorted by Brian and Tanya Hasse. He's been involved with cross-country, wrestling, soccer, and Leo Club. He plans to attend Iowa State. Carson's best memory from cross-country is when myself, Mr. Pickett, showed the boys who were riding in the van with him on the way to a meet the song called Amish Paradise his junior year. Okay. I remember that one. All right, athlete. The next athlete is Ethan Larson, and he is being escorted by Dave and Kendra Larson. And activities have been soccer, cross-country, and Leo Club. He plans to attend the University of Iowa to major in biology and maybe specialize in pre-med. And then his favorite memory from cross-country is always being one of the best teams in the state. Then we have Gretchen Oltragi. Parents are Sarah and Joel Oltragi. Activities are cross-country, golf, band, and Leo Club. And she plans after high school is moving to Antarctica to open a new sweet spot. And then some of her best memories from cross-country is when they had the Goodwill run inside the old school because it started downpouring on us. We have Grant Pouch. Grant is the son of Ryan and Eve Pouch. And the things he has been involved with are cross-country, golf, student council, speech, the school play, academic decathlon, and concert and jazz band. He attends to attend a four-year university to study air traffic control or architecture. And the awards or favorite things that he's been involved with cross-country is at the conference meet is when Coach Spelka would have all the guys drum the ground in order to remind the other teams that the Cyclone cross-country team was going to take them by storm. We have Neil Pinter, who was escorted by Don and Steph Pinter. The activities he was involved with was cross-country, track, soccer, bowling, band, archery, scouts, Cyclone Achievement Club. And he's planning to go to Iowa State for mechanical engineering and enlisting in the Iowa National Guard. And his favorite memory are destination runs and goodwill runs with the cross-country team. Then we have Darwin Schallenbarger, and his parents are Brett and Christy. High school activities that they're involved with, or he has been involved with, are cross-country, band, and bowling. He has not decided where to go, but he wants to be an engineer. And his favorite memories were the junior year destination run to Lost Island. Then we have Jason Waterman here. His parents are Ryan and Deb, and the activities he's been involved with are cross-country and soccer. He wants to obtain a PhD in janitorial arts. I didn't know that was something that you can get a PhD in, Jason. That sounds a lot like you. He wrote an award here that he was the 5th grade Cyclone basketball tournament hot shot champion, and his best memory is that one day we didn't have practice. All right, that's a good way to finish it off, kids. And we've got the band that's about ready to start here. I don't know, have they done a show yet here, Coach? Okay, all right. They might be doing another one here. Oh, the lights are going out. This is awesome. Well, I'm gonna take a break, at least from my side here a little bit. I'll keep the show going here, but I'm gonna mute us for maybe about a minute here. I should probably have this up. Okay, we're going back.
Yeah, we were muted there.
We didn't have a hot mic moment, but it was pretty close.
Good.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. We were just talking about how everybody has just given us an incredible amount of feedback. We won't call it positive feedback or negative feedback, just feedback on how we're doing. We love constructive.
I love construction as well, Pickett.
I love building things. Yeah. Constructive criticism is absolutely fine, but I tell you what, me and Coach Frost here, we're just jumping into this most of the time, and I'm always grateful for how he preps, what he knows, and also like anything else that's kind of a performance, you got to be able to do it too. And I appreciate you sitting by my side here and helping me run a show.
I don't think we're going to get hired for, actually, technically, I think you could get hired for maybe behind-the-scenes guy there. I'm not saying you're a bad play-by-play, but, I like the environment. We got a good feel here of just it's a little looser up here in the Denver weight room watching this football game, but I do feel a little bit like I'm watching, we're a couple buddies watching football.
Oh, and you know what? I think that again, some people appreciate that. Some of the best announcers are people that I would just want to listen to stories with, too, and we're not going to, ESPN's not going to give us a contract. I know that. I can't. I don't even want to be up here with a suit and tie too. That's one thing that I imagine where these people are sitting at. You think is really awesome, but there's probably just a tucked away box. It's probably not a lot different than what we're in right now.
Most of the high school broadcasts there. I'd like to think that if we can make it big, we'll get put in a really nice press box there somewhere. But for the time being, we're in the Denver weight room here, and I'll tell you, the view from up here is perfect. It's I think people, we had a lot of windows up here in the Cyclone Center, and some of the bigger windows are in this weight room, so we got a pretty good view of all 100 yards, and got a beautiful press box that we got kind of moved down here, but not a bad change.
No, and we're getting a chance to watch the band perform here, and I see the Wapsie Valley crowd. I'm going to kind of peek over to see our Denver crowd here, and we got a full house here. We got people along the fence too. It's a nice game. Temperature's probably in the upper 70s right now. It's beautiful outside, and seeing some of the athletes that were in cross country and cheer, they're involved in the band as well. I love it, and I don't see it here, and maybe you'll help me, Coach, here. And people probably don't know this about me, but they used to. I was in football and I was in band as well, and so halftime for home games didn't matter. I was a senior. I still had football pads, and I'd had to perform.
Yep.
And I don't know how many of our football players.
We've got a couple younger guys. That's something I do look for as well. That we got a couple younger guys that go from.
I got one guy in the front there that's got pads on. I don't know who that is. Sorry.
We got a couple there. Yeah. That's there's some. I think that might be Jordan Nuss. I don't want, maybe I'm saying it wrong, and he's like, I'm not even out for band. But yeah, that's always fun to see those guys, multi-sport. But you talk about how busy it is out here. I'm telling you, I had PE first hour this morning, and I had some kids out on the football field doing some ultimate frisbee, and I had about 10, 15 people throughout that 45-minute period that were coming reserving spots and putting blankets down. And I know you guys are listening to us probably from home, but if you want to get out and get a good spot in these crowds, you're going to get out early and have to reserve them, because we had a lot of parents, friends, family that they're reserving spots throughout the bleachers there early, and it's good to see. It's exciting. There's people that excited for it. So full crowd tonight. I'm sure the Wapsie rivalry is definitely has something to do with that.
All right, so as a person that's never reserved a seat here, just because I don't know if I've ever sat in the sides, what's the process? I got to bring my blanket and put it on the bleacher. Is that right?
I mean, honestly, you got the simple process and you have it figured out. I think there's an honor code: don't move someone's blanket. But yeah, I bet we had about 30 blankets to put out throughout the day. I even found a tarp for someone in the school that they said, can you reserve it for me today? And I said, all right, I'll put a tarp out there for you. So someone might be sitting on a tarp. Hopefully they return that tarp. But I feel like that's a new game that I was unaware of at Denver. But yeah, come out early if you want a good spot, because it's first come, first serve.
Well, that's we might start having people tape out their blankets on Thursday night, and this is just going to turn into a system here. But that is good to see, and little things that I don't know, just being a part of the community that you get to see. As we're looking out on the weight room here, you get to see the massive loop, the I don't know what you want, the complex here, about the 1.1. We see people using that all the time. We're seeing people that are not skateboarding necessarily, but rollerblading on it, biking, walking their kids on strollers, obviously running on that. I see people all the time. Mr. Swales, I'll give him credit. He is out here all the time running a lot of miles. I know that I ran past the middle school cross-country team, and specifically Cale Gallagher wanted me to make sure that I gave him a shout-out today, and so I will honor that. Cale Gallagher, he is doing a great job as a young man, and he's one of our middle school kids. I think he's a 7th grader. He's either a 7th grader or an 8th grader, but he had a great first cross-country meet out at Owine last week. So, gosh, we're about ready to start the second half, aren't we?
We're second half football here. We have a great football game. It's 13-6, Wapsie-Denver rivalry right here. I think this is going to be Denver's going to start with the ball, and great opportunity for Denver to start fast, hopefully, and they can make this into a 2-score lead rather than a 1-score, because these games, like being this 7-point games, not enough in this type of rivalry.
All right, so we have a short kickoff, and it's picked up by Keaton Rothmeyer, and he's blitzing forward. Again, another great starting field position, right? This is eerily similar to the first play.
We're about the 45-yard line again here, and you're close hash right now. Good return there. It was a nice seam for Keaton Rothmeyer again, and he did a nice job of getting side to side, but then finding vertical speed as he went there. Nice little, sideways shift there, and then found the Jets there for another, 18-yard gain, but great field position.
All right, well, I'm not going to be able to show a replay because I just was not quick enough there. All right, so the Cyclones are going to take over on their own 45-yard line, and they're in that, I don't even know if you want to call it a Maryland eye. It's not quite. Oh, and we have just a leap over. Oh, he might be a hurdler. Is that Micah Greer there?
Micah Greer, who's not a hurdler in high school, but not necessarily a legal move in high school. You're not allowed to jump over people there, but that's the first look we've seen from Denver with their power eye. That's a power eye is a formation they went to about 8-9 years ago when they had a big offensive line, and Denver's offensive line is probably about 30 pounds average bigger than Wapsie's D-line, so I was just a matter of time before Cyclones came out and kind of a heavy set like this.
Yeah, this is how they kind of iced the game away against the Chickasaws last week, so maybe they're going to try that playbook again and see if they can wear down the Warriors. And Micah Greer gets to the right, gets to the edge, and he is in the backfield, makes a big cut across the formation. He's down to the Warrior 28-yard line. Nice run.
Right there's this power I is one of those formations there where you're going to have to bring a lot of hats inside the box, and that's one of those things right now is right away, a lot of hats inside. Micah Greer's going to make a quick bounce outside once you see that big blitz or that big rush inside. One tackle there, 2 tackles missed, and he's going to put on a couple nice little moves, going to stop and start and get back in that inside. So the Cyclones here, they're going back to, like you said, that playbook from last week where they're going to wear the defense down and then force their will of the offensive line onto them.
All right, so we've got, there's 20 people in the box right there. That's what it is. And, yep, right to Greer, and it looks like it's maybe a shorter gain of about 3 yards.
But still right there is winning first down. That's, what the Cyclones are going to try to do there. I mean, that's right now as it looks to be 2nd and 6 there. So if you can get 4 yards, 3-4 yards along, 3 short 4 on first down, that's right on schedule for the Cyclones. Right there, I think they're showing a little bit of trust in their offensive line of saying that we've got the hosses up front that we can move people, and Wapsie's going to have to keep moving people in the box right there. I don't think they have 20, but it's probably close to 18 or 19 in there.
So my untrained eye here, it looks like they're either leaving one of the wider DNs unblocked, and I don't know if Wapsie thinks that they're just going to make the play behind it, but maybe not. We've got a deep pass. Oh, and he hits it for a touchdown! Jackson Sanderson airmails a beautiful, well, it wasn't a beautiful looking ball, but it was in the right spot for Keaton Rothmeyer.
You know what, Jackson there is he's throwing some really accurate balls there, but that's a fade to the corner of the end zone right inside the pylon here. He's going to take 2 steps here, and he's going to kind of huck it there, but he knew what he was doing. Keaton Rothmeyer is going to make a nice vertical stem out there, and what a ball there. Not an easy, perfect ball there, kind of extended there, perfect over his left shoulder. Keaton Rothmeyer, great route, great ball. That's a very, very pretty football play.
Oh, so we got a flag already here. Is it just because we broke a huddle?
Yeah, we had too many guys in the illegal shift they're going to call out there, but at the same time, I think we had a guy in formation and then run off formation from inside the interior line. But it's going to move this extra point back a little bit. And tell you what, when a game right now is 2 scores, every point matters. So I'm sure Coach Barrett's not happy about this special teams error again.
All right, so you're going to see the word field goal on here show up twice, but I can't hit the +6 button on here, so that's the best I can do. So the Cyclones are up by 13 right now. And it is going to be good as long as it's straight, and it is not. Must have missed it wide to the right.
Well, that's theirs. In high school there, it's kind of a crapshoot sometimes if you have a great, good kicker and out there, and it doesn't make it any easier when you go from, that simple extra point, move it back. That's I don't know if we're going to be kicking a whole lot of long field goals this year. We're, extra points probably going to be mostly what we're doing, but just someone, I think it looked like an offensive lineman that wanted to stay on the field. They wanted to play some more football, but great drive for the Cyclones. That's that's the third quarter answer you're looking for.
And I'm trying to see, why the Cyclones, which we'll hit this replay again, and I think I can slow this thing down. I got to remember how to do this. Replay clips. Here we go. So we're going to slow this thing down to, about half speed. I think we got time to do that for a little bit. So you see the short, 1 or 2 step drop here, but Wapsie Valley obviously not honoring, staying deep. He took 2 steps, acted like he was going to kind of hit slant across, and the Warrior defender was not expecting a deep ball there at all.
Well, right there is if you I'm sure Wapsie watched a lot of film there last week. Second half, dominant in the run, really wore down Northampton, and only 9 throws from Denver altogether. So you got to kind of play your cards there. Look like man-to-man out coverage there, but advantage Keaton Rothmeyer in man-to-man. He's a good athlete.
All right, so Jackson, after engineering that drive and that touchdown, kicks the ball again, and another mishandle by 2 separate Wapsie Valley Warriors, but they ended up. Oh, my gosh, they're off to the races. I don't think anybody's going to catch him, and what a response from the Warriors. And
he's going to be right in there. We're going to get a tackle. Ethan Ryder's going to tackle in the end zone, but I think he got all the way in before we got an actual – I don't have a touchdown quite call yet.
Yep, they've got it on the scoreboard, so I'm going to put it on ours.
And we got a flag now. I'm not exactly sure what we're seeing here. It's some conversation between the officials.
So I saw a football look like it skied up in the air about 35 feet, so I don't know.
And that's a pretty quick way to get unsportsmanlike if that's the case there. But, hey, there is Cyclones, who have been one of the probably the more best teams on the field, has been their kickoff before that kickoff team the 3 times prior to this. Right there, even Wapsie gave him a little bit of an advantage there with a muffed catch there, and I don't know if that was just something that developed the hole a little longer, but right down the left side there, found a nice seam and lots of speed.
Sometimes, and it's not just the muff, which it does break up the timing, but it actually went further back than what our kickoff our kickoff team is used to. And so that changes your lanes, right? And it messes with things a little bit. And the kids know what they're supposed to do, but their eyes change when the ball hits the dirt a little bit.
Well, and I'm sure they were angling towards that first one, and they had to, exactly you're saying, they're find a different angle there. And I don't think we maybe did a great job of picking up that ball, but it didn't seem to have the same penetration down the field as it has the last couple of plays there. It's one of those things. I'm sure the coaches will look there saying that, hey, we scored a touchdown. You got to have the same effort because we didn't have as many bodies deep, in our kick return coverage there that we had in the last couple ones.
Oh wow, this is there just looks like chaos right now, which makes sense. I mean, you have a special teams and you bring it right back. There's just always chaos here. So that must have been a 15-yarder. I mean, if I was taking a guess, it was unsportsmanlike for throwing the ball up to the moon. Again, there's not a. I'm looking around up here. There's not a star. That's what I'm trying to say. Star in the sky. I cannot speak right now.
We had Well, I'll talk about this guy. We had a super blue moon a couple days ago, so I know that was excitement. I had a student tell me all about it, but definitely there. He threw it high there. I can't blame the Wapsie player there. He's excited there. I don't think he was trying to show off too much there. Kind of just a tough one, but it's not a touchdown because he was caught at the 3-yard line. So now it is on the 18-yard line, first and goal.
Oh, they've.
Is there?
It is. This is their extra point right here. So they're just going to. Oh, you know what? I tell you what, he has done that. I think, he got hit pretty hard there. Cannon Decker does a nice job of rolling one direction, putting his foot in the ground, and almost shrugging. And he's made about 4 or 5 Cyclones miss with that.
Yeah, sorry, guys. That was definitely wrong. That was on the 2-point conversion there. Normally not seeing a 2-point conversion on the 18-yard line, but right there is Cyclones electing to take that now instead of on the kickoff, and definitely a good decision there, making this a 7-point game. You're not wrong there, but I say Cannon Decker, no other word, he's just slippery, and he is quick once he gets out of there. He makes one guy miss, but when you had 18 yards to gain there, the Cyclones were able to attack a little more, and make sure they get someone, before he gets all the way to the end zone.
So we have had almost 300 different people that have logged in and jumped on this live stream. So how many different times have this been loaded up? Almost over 500 times. But we've had almost 300 different people, check out the broadcast. So we're happy you're with us. We're hoping that we're producing something that you guys are enjoying. I'm having a harder time. I cannot get Twitter, which is not Twitter anymore. It's X.
Yeah.
I cannot with this program. I'm assuming they had a licensing agreement or a connection with Twitter. I don't know if that went away, but I can't put stuff on Twitter, and Facebook is causing a problem for me too. So I'd love to be able to connect and put these things out, but I haven't figured out how to do it yet because it's changed a little bit. Elon Musk, I'm going to blame him, and hopefully he doesn't yell at me.
Pickett will work tirelessly this week to get her done here.
Tirelessly. We're going to be okay. All right, so the Warriors end up just hitting the ball really, really short, and it gets picked up. I just don't think they want any of the Denver returners to have the hands on the ball.
I don't know if that chip shot was intention to maybe get the ball back, but that was definitely an intention right there. As he did not drive through that ball thinking he was going to get to the back there. I would maybe agree with the decision because this has been the worst field position that Denver has started from a kickoff return. I think that's been another strong suit for the Cyclones, and right there is almost a pretty impressive play by Keaton Rothmeyer just to get on that ball and before it bounced, because a lot of bad things can happen when that ball bounces, and he almost took a big shot. So tough catch, nice play, way to keep the Cyclones in possession.
I don't know why they keep on kicking the ball to him though.
I would find someone else, but
I would too. I know that we've got other dangerous people, but he's having himself a heck of a game. All right, so the Cyclones are in a twins to the right I formation. and they're going to pass the ball out to Keaton Rothmeyer, who makes a man miss, makes another man miss, and I think we're going to see that nice little pass and catch get negated by a penalty.
Well, it was really quick there. It's going to be hard to be a hold that quickly, but it's in that territory from the back judge here. I'm not exactly sure, what you're seeing there. They're talking to the Denver Cyclones players, so it might be on Wapsie Valley there. We got roughing the passer. I was going to say, with Jackson Sanderson got that ball out so quickly there that I'm not exactly sure how that could have been holding there, but
I'll show that again.
Took a little swipe to the face.
Well, no, I think that he got hit below the ankles.
Oh, he kind of got folded over there. That's that's one of those things there, especially their quarterbacks. They're going to protect your lower half. That's that Tom Brady from Pollard from the Chiefs, that injury. But Jackson there, even with a little pressure and people at his feet, throws another great ball forward to was it Keaton Rothmeyer again, I believe.
It was.
And Jackson Scoville did a nice job of stock blocking on the outside. Those passes out wide has been something that, a pleasant surprise from the Cyclones today. I don't think they did nearly as many last week, and I think they've done a nice job of getting the ball out wide and quick.
One person that we haven't heard from, but my guess is that because they're targeting is Ethan Ryder. Having both those weapons on the field is massive. Micah Greer getting into the second level. Almost makes a guy miss. He gets a 12-yard gain on first down.
Great tackle there, and that's about the third time here that we've had a touchdown-saving tackle from Wapsie Valley there. That was a safety, and it's Micah Greer's got to be feeling good about some of these carries. He's getting to that second level with a bunch of speed, and he's able to put his foot in the ground and make some vertical moves. The Denver Cyclones, that off-tackle play, it seems like they get stuck for 2, 3, 4 back-to-back, and then all of a sudden a big hole gash is open for Micah Greer.
And he wasn't touched until the second level, until the guy that made the tackle. Great job, offensive line, really getting us some movement on whoever they're blocking. All right, twins to the right, I formation, and it looked like it was going to be a pass play, but they give it to Micah Greer, who is going to just rumble his way for a touchdown. Touchdown, Cyclones.
You want to talk about gashing off to the right. They went off tackle to the left of last time. Now they're going to go off tackle to the right. Micah Greer, when he gets to that second level like that, he looks to be an improved runner in that aspect of just being able to get to that second level better. And then he's vertical. That's a great play for the Cyclones. And Evan Dorn, the fullback, is the first one, kicking that end out. That's a great blocked play for the Cyclones, and way to finish it, Micah Greer.
I mean, his eyes, and so this play was set up by Keaton Rothmeyer and Jackson Sanderson hitting that tunnel screen. After this point after attempt, you're going to see Jackson's eyes go up to to Keaton, and they run that little tunnel screen concept, that bubble screen. That's not tunnel screen, a bubble screen concept, excuse me. And again, just a nicely set up play. Let's get back to our video clips here, and let's go replay. And again, you're going to see his eyes and the action here. It looks for a moment like it's going to be that little bubble screen, and that might have just froze the linebackers just for a moment.
And just having that motion outside wide there might not even look. They might not be noticing Jackson's eyes there, but they're definitely seeing those receivers, making that false run there, and it's going to hold the safety there for a moment, and that just gives Micah maybe even more crease to finish that run for a touchdown. That might have been a tackle from the safety at 18 yards if that safety wasn't respecting that little bubble screen right. But back-to-back drives to the Cyclones here. This second half's been kind of a slow moving. We're just over 3 minutes through, but we've had 3 scores. We've had 2 really dominant drives from the Cyclones, and then a kick return from Wapsie. So there's been plenty of fireworks here through the first 3 and change in the second half.
If I know we're biased on the broadcast here, but just feeling the temperature in here, I think this is going to be a lot riding on this series. Wapsie Valley needs to make something go. They don't have to score here, but they need to move the ball forward, get it out of their half of the field, because it just feels like Denver could run away with this thing.
Yep, I mean, Denver's making it look easier at times. I'd say their drives that they've drove down the field, it's been a little bit more, big plays with, huge holes. Wapsie's had to kind of earn their way a little more and then have a big kick return. So, great momentum for the Cyclones, and hopefully they're, not going to go deep with their kick either.
No, wow, and we've got some extracurriculars during the kickoff, and I love it. You're going to see some of the younger players that are just trying to be aggressive, but I don't think either team wants to see a kickoff return anymore.
I think they're both, as well as the Cyclones have done in coverage before that last one there, I think they're both just kind of succumbing and saying, like, hey, let's give the ball to the other team in decent, not great field position, and let our defense make a stop.
So I got to give credit to all. Well, never mind. I was going to, and I can't remember one of the names, so I'm just going to be quiet. It's
probably best that we don't publicly forget people.
Yeah, I'm sorry. All right, so the Warriors are going to take over on their own 30-yard line, and they're going to just do a little lead play. The Cannon Decker following his running back, and he gets strung out to the sideline for a gain of 1.
Nice job here by outside backer. I'm not sure if that was Micah Greer or who that was on the far side. It's a little tinted window, so it's hard to see sometimes all the way out there. But taking on that lead blocker and making Cannon, Decker slow his feet down and lose his forward momentum. Nice job out there, just being aggressive. It looked like it might be Keaton Rothmeyer actually on that play. Oh, Jackson Scoville, rather. I'm sorry.
All right, so we're going to be in that shotgun formation. You're going to kind of motion over their halfback to the left, 2 receivers to that same side. And they're going to do a play-action play. They have... Oh, and we got to pick off a tip! And I don't think anybody's going to touch Keaton Rothmeyer. Cannon Decker does a great job trying to track him down, but it's a touchdown. Pick 6, Cyclones.
Not a bad play design right there, but Cannon Decker made the cardinal sin. You can't miss on the inside when you're throwing out. He threw it slightly behind the Wapsie Valley guy in the flat. Gets tipped, and right there, Keaton Rothmeyer coming up to make a tackle. Look what I found. Great reaction, great hands, and then he got the fun play where he gets to dive for the pylon. I'm sure he's going to put that on his highlight tape, and he'll remember that, diving for the pylon and making the play. But ball got inside, great reaction. Keaton Rothmeyer is going to dive for the touchdown.
That is definitely not what the Warriors wanted, and that is 100% what the Cyclones wanted to see happen. Jackson Sanderson, who stroked the ball right there, and this could, again, kind of like last week where it was really fundamentally a very, very, very tight game. And again, I think the Chickasaws just took themselves out of it with 5 or 6 turnovers, and this could break the Warriors back here.
Well, you mentioned there that's going to be a tough drive, and that definitely was going to be a big drive for confidence for Wapsie, or even kind of lowering the confidence there. That momentum was going to be big on that last drive. Right there, that's the Cyclones, have been really good through 2 games of not turning the ball over and taking advantage of mistakes of the defense there. Right there is if you can take advantage of a defensive, of a turnover for a score, even better. But Cyclones have won the turnover battle both games right now, and kind of the first big turnover mistake of this game. Definitely the Cyclones are jumping all over. Great play, lots of speed and tenacity from the Cyclones. That's an exciting play for Denver.
So I'm just watching this, and he's gonna hit the receiver pretty hard too. He made a good jump on that ball, and Keaton Rothmeyer having himself a game.
He's a good football player, and that's right there. Just kind of, when you see guys attack that play in the flats, a lot of times you're going to give that throw to the flats, and especially if you have someone that you trust that's going to come up and make a tackle. It's not an easy play, but you can't hesitate. You've got to go run through people's legs in there. Keaton Rothmeyer, was ready for the tackle. He was playing that receiver. Just the fact that he's a good enough athlete right there to get his eyes from making a tackle, the ball gets tipped and make a pretty smooth catch. Maybe probably a very difficult catch, make it look that smooth, kind of shows how good of an athlete he is.
All right, so Jackson Sanderson going to kick the ball south to north, and they just kind of do that little squib kick, and a little bit worse field position for the Warriors. Instead of starting on their 30, it looks like they're going to start on their own 28. So, again, effective.
I believe the Cyclones are trusting in their defense here. I think that's the number one right now is that, Jackson Sanderson, we've talked about being high school kickers. We've been blessed with some big legs. I think Jackson admits to you that he's not going to get a lot of touchbacks, but we've had some kids that can for sure put in the end zone. But if you don't have a kid that you don't know for sure if they can get at the end zone, and you trust your defense, don't give the guy a chance to return it.
So you really, outside of the first drive for the offense for the Warriors, I think you're right. The defensive stoutness for the Cyclones has been pretty good, and I say that, and there are 3 Cyclones that are just suffocating the ball carrier.
Right there, Jackson Olmstead's going to get the tackle here, but nice job by both defensive ends. They kind of peeled up the field there, and all 3 lanes, outside left, outside right taken, and then Jackson Olmstead did a nice job of blitzing. I'd say late, kind of that late that late rush there, that run through, finding him at line of scrimmage there for 2-yard loss there. So penetration for the Cyclones continues.
All right, so the Warriors are now at their own 25-yard line after that 2-yard loss, and they're going to do that triple option. Kanan Decker just finds a seam. Now, he's a fun little football player to watch.
He's slippery there. We got, I think, maybe a hit after he's late there. We got a late flag. We've had a lot of flags tonight, but that triple option, great penetration again, and he just slips right through the first tackle, gets that second level, and 8-9 yard gain. I don't know how tall he is, but seems like he's hard to find. And when they do find him, he kind of just, like you said, makes a little shoulder move and slips right by.
So I'm trying to remember if he was on the wrestling mat, if he was a 38-pounder last year, and again, the size doesn't matter, but if you have somebody that can run a triple option, sometimes being a little bit smaller is better because you can just fit through those creases, and he's got a nice first step, and he's pretty fast too. He tracked down Keaton after he threw that pick and was in position to make the play.
Looks like that penalty was not going to be a late hit. It looks to be a face mask, and I think that'll bring it really close to a first down, depending if it's the 15 or the 5 variety. And I think it's a 5 variety, but it's enough to give him a first down still.
All right, so we have 7 minutes left into the third quarter. If you're just joining us on our broadcast, it is 33 Denver and 12 Wapsie Valley. And Wapsie Valley's got the ball 1st and 10 at their own 38-yard line, and they get a nice rush. It's been a while since they've had, really more than a 5-yard gain, and now we're sitting down at 2nd and short.
And that's the first time we've really seen anyone with kind of any freedom, running-wise, other than Kanan Decker to this game here. That was number 24 here, and we have the lights turned off in here, but that Hunter Curley, the sophomore, that had a good run in the first half. Another one of those triple option looks, but this one looked like they gave it to the zone play coming back to the right.
All right. Hey, Brett, thanks for the vote of confidence, Mr. Bergman. All right, so Kanan Decker is back, and again, he's scrambling. Does a nice job cutting, spinning. Oh, he's like a blender out there, man.
We're a biased broadcast, but I think you're enjoying watching Kanan Decker play football because that's a nice move on space, and he's making it tough on the linebackers there. The job is not an easy tackle to tackle anyone in space right there, but not someone that can make a spin move and vertical jukes like he does. He's a slippery little guy.
Again, I walked. I won't say her name, but I had a young elementary student that came up to me and was like, "Hey, there's that Wapsie kid over there, just a kid with a Wapsie shirt. You tell them Wapsie sucks." and I'm like, part of my brain was like, I love this because it's good to have a rivalry, but there's great kids over there. There's great people, and these kids don't live that far away from each other, and it's good to have something that you're going to circle and you're going to care about quite a bit. But awesome families, awesome people over at Wapsie Valley, and definitely we love beating them when we get a chance to.
It's a great community to have a rivalry with because it's a bunch of it's two good communities going at there. But play right there is sweep with, I think, Hunter Curley again, and the right side of the Denver defense there. Look, be Alex Moran turn that back in. Well done.
All right, so I'm going to guess a pass play here. No, option. That's a pitch, and he's got a corner. He's got a nice block out on the edge. Two nice blocks out on the edge, and rumbles ahead for close to a first down. Looks like where the official's going to mark it, that's going to be a first down carry for the Warriors.
Right here, great block here by the split out wide here. Denver had a pretty good penetration there. Once again, I think that someone had to keep that cornerback had to turn that play in there because he got around that last edge, and we had about 3-4 guys in pursuit. As you can see here is this replay. You're going to go speed option right away. They're going to get this first, and you're going to have about 3-4 guys that have 2 guys that have an angle, and they're going to get caught in the wash, and then a lot of speed from Wapsie to finish that run.
Yeah, so this is got to give credit for Wapsie Valley with staying with whatever game plan they have set up here. This looks more familiar to their first drive, and it's not just about the holes that are starting to open up for the Warriors again, but Kanan Decker is a big piece to that, and after throwing an interception and a pick six, he's come back here with no fear, maybe a little bit upset, and coming in here and doing an awesome job.
Well, right here, this is going to be a big play for the Cyclones here. We talked about momentum here, and it looked to be like the momentum was completely, up for the Cyclones here after those 2 quick drives, to start the second half. But winning first down, it seemed, we got to get them behind the chains and keep them behind the chains.
All right, so the Warriors are in Cyclone territory on the Cyclones 35, 1st and 10. They have 2 wide receivers split to the left. They're in a shotgun formation tied in to the right. And we got a quick motion, and then it looks like we've got a holding. That looks like that's a hold call right there. It would have been a short gain anyways for Wapsie Valley.
And I think they found something they like here with Wapsie. They've been running a lot of that motion back behind, and it's basically a triple option there out of shotgun where they have zone going right, and they're going to, the quarterback can pull and go left. That whether he decides to sweep out there with a lead blocker or even a pitch man. But right there is we have a legal chop block on that last play, and that's going to put Wapsie well behind the chains. I know that's a personal foul and definitely a tough one for the first down.
All right, so chop block for those. People that are watching that don't know what a chop block is, Coach, would you?
Right there's essentially in high school. There's if a man's engaged, he's got a block there. Another person cannot hit below the knees, or you cannot block anyone outside of the tight end box here. Below the knees there. So I think that would have been one that was engaged and got chopped.
All right, so very similar play. It's tipped up in the air, and it's picked off by the Cyclones. Is that if that's Keaton Rothmeyer, I might do a dance up here.
It looks like the Evan Dorn. I think you're getting your 3 and your 8 mixed up there. It looks very similar. But that is the Cyclones' MO right there. Right there is being opportunistic there. Ball gets tipped up, and Evan Dorn gets his eyes up quickly and makes a play. That's not an easy thing to do, and that seems more like an NFL play. You don't get to see a whole lot of balls batted down, but we've had 3 from the Cyclones today.
All right, so who is it Will Lockhart there? No, it's somebody from the interior. Somebody with a 7, I can't quite tell. Just awesome play. And the Cyclones, again, starting with fantastic field position. Another turnover forced by the Cyclones. All right, so we're in an I formation, 2 receivers to the right. Looks like a straight ISO play, and a great cut by, is that Evan Dorn now with the ball?
Evan Dorn. I think they're going to reward the man that made the play there, and that dueling back system that they got going right there with Micah and back here. When it's nice because Evan Dorn here, we haven't talked enough about Evan Dorn, how good of a football player he is, because I think in the end here he's been having a tough job of chasing around Cannon Decker. But what a great football player is he on the defensive end, and just be able to keep him fresh, because I do think he could be a lead back. But the fact that there's 2 and they can kind of do these dueling backs, huge. And he looks fresh. He looks fresh in the third quarter, which is I think the goal of that what they're doing.
And I'm seeing linemen. Reaching in the second level, they get past, and that's fantastic. We're let's see if we can salt this game away. And again, a straight I formation. Evan Dorn, who spins into the second level, throws a stiff arm, and he gains 17 yards.
That's a violent run there. That doesn't look like a third quarter run. That running back right now is I don't know if it looks to be Micah Greer and Dorn just switched fullback and running back there. I don't know if they did it with their own saying, hey, you can have the ball a couple times now, but they're definitely doing a nice job of blocking for each other, and then the other one's finishing runs. But you could tell Evan Dorn was running mad there.
And I'm liking watching this too. Evan Dorn had a similar run against the Chickasaws, and I looked like it was in against the 2 group. And I haven't been able to see him run here, but he's running exactly the same. He wants to go and make contact with somebody, make him pay for trying to tackle him. Warriors do a nice job of getting upfield, getting penetration. We see a flag there at the end.
I think we're going to get a late hit on the Cyclones there. I think I saw some bodies flying through late. Definitely not what you want to see. You get 2nd and 11 there, and then you get a late hit. Maybe that's going to put you back even further. Not a great situation, and maybe some undisciplined football from the Cyclones.
Again, emotions are high here, and even though emotions are high, that's part of the game, and being able to keep yourself contained and maybe routing that into the next play rather than doing it after the play.
And it's it's never good, and there's never a time of the field that you want a personal foul, but especially down there when you're inside the red zone where you can smell the end zone and you're that close there. And now you're sitting at it looks to be like 2nd and maybe it looks to be 2nd and maybe probably 28 or 25, 26. Puts you at a huge disadvantage there. Changes your play calls as a play caller there, and maybe takes away a chance to score.
All right, so let's see if they're going to do that little quick bubble. Quick hitter here. Ooh, looks like they were going to do it. And a nice fit in there for a great amount of yardage there. Maybe got about half of that.
I bet they got about 16 back there, and you're right on that bubble there. You're definitely, had the timing of it figured out there, but he's going to stare that bubble down, and I think they did that bubble into a slant. You could tell right there is like they're kind of playing some games with that bubble throughout this game, and a lot of different plays coming off of that bubble, and that's a nice little counter from it. Get your eyes on that bubble and then throw it back in that slant once the outside backer goes.
And Jackson did a nice job of fitting that right kind of. It's not within the zone because they kind of played a man zone concept, but he put it in the right area. All right, so we got an I formation, 3rd and almost 12 here, and they're going to run it. Evan Dorn, who's going to keep his feet churning, but only going to probably get to a 2-yard gain.
Right there, left defensive end for Wapsie Valley, got up the field a little bit and slowed Evan Dorn's feet down just a bit. Made it difficult for him to get a whole lot of head of steam going downhill. But right there, as it looks to be someone down for the Cyclones, so we're going to get the group out there. We're going to get the PT group out there.
All right, so if you're joining a broadcast here, the Cyclones. It was a tip ball interception by Evan Dorn, and they took over. I think I'm counting this play right, and then started running the ball down the field and made it pretty deep into Warrior territory. A personal foul, probably a late hit. The Cyclones moved them back 15 yards, and they claw themselves back, but they find themselves in 4th and 10 on the Warrior 15-yard line.
There's maybe an opportunity missed here. They got a chance at 4th down to kind of right some wrongs on that personal foul, and I'm sure they're going to go to play bank there and find their best play in this kind of situation. But right there, this would have been a really big one. You talk about momentum there. Wapsie had a nice drive, but it seems to be the Denver Cyclones are kind of clawing themselves back into feeling very, very comfortable. This has been a great situation for them to score, but good to see Evan Dorn popping up there. It looks like he probably was just cramping there because he's walking pretty normal now.
All right, so Coach, what's your play call on 4th and 10?
If you can get man-to-man on the outside, I don't think it's wrong to go either way. 4th and 10 to either one, Ethan Ryder or Keaton Rothmeyer. Keaton Rothmeyer's kind of had the hot hand today, but you got 2 really good athletes out wide. I'm not sure Wapsie is going to commit too much as in the box as they did before, but if you can get man-to-man, I wouldn't mind any kind of post corner, any kind of fade, any kind of maybe deep comeback there, past the sticks.
All right, so it looks like we have a timeout taken by the Cyclones. I'm going to say something weird just because
goodness.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'd love to see them, do almost a fade concept, but you're going to call that a back shoulder throw, but just a hitch. You're going to sit out and act like you're going deep as a fade. Almost put your hand up there and then come back and let your receiver make the first down after being there. That's a big timing throw. I don't know what's higher percentage.
I'd tell you fades in high school. It's a lot on the high school quarterback there, and it's kind of a tough ball to throw. I'll say the timing wise has been the strength of the throwing game today. I'd say that's been probably the most it's been a bright spot. And then, the accuracy down the field. We haven't thrown a whole lot of balls downfield, and the one that we did throw down the field was perfect there. But I think the way you're kind of talking is like that little comeback route, show like you're going deep there. Playing cornerback is not easy at any level, but playing quarterback in a high school position, there's, these a lot of kids that are playing a lot of different positions, and they don't get the training to play quarterback. So if you could run a really good comeback, I love the route. I think it's a great, it's a great thing for an offense to have. And, I don't know if they're going to give man-to-man over to Keaton Rothmeyer. I would not do it anymore just because he's been burning you a little bit too often.
Well, I'm looking at where they're going to shade their safety, and they're going to shade him out where the 2 receiver set is. Almost a one-handed grab. It was in his paw. I don't know if that was.
We got a flag, but I believe it's on the Cyclones on the hold there, and I think Wapsie Valley is going to take over on downs here on the 14-yard line. But yes, I think it looks to be all, by all purposes, on the Cyclones. Not a terrible ball there, just outside of his reach. Put a little heat on it, but it was a nice play by Ethan Ryder just to give himself a chance. Right there is put that left paw up there, almost brought it down, and would have been a pretty highlight catch, but luckily for him, it would have been, taken back if you would have caught it with that holding call.
And people don't get it too when you're it's not just a roll. He was almost sprinting out to the right. It is tough to throw the pass that you normally would take after a drop back. It does come out a lot faster, and it comes out sometimes higher up in the air too, just based off of your movement forward, especially if you're moving down to the right. And he put it in a pretty good spot.
So, remember Jackson, he does a great job of throwing to his left there. He got to his right, and he just kind of didn't get his shoulders pointed there and get that nose coming back down.
All right, so we're in that two receiver to the left. This is a pitch out, and the Warriors get the corner, and this is a healthy 9, maybe even a 10-yard gain.
Right there, just kind of got the outside backer. The outside backer took a really thin route to get to that little quick pitch. Didn't have quite the speed to beat him to the sideline there. I think in the end here's the outside backer. If you would have taken a little wider route to that angle to the sideline, it would have been a little better. But Wapsie's got some team speed. They've got some guys that if you don't take the right angle, they'll make you burn. And that's another play right there, 9-yard gain because of it.
Right, so Wapsie's just not going away quietly, and I love it. It's a good football game here, beautiful night. The Warriors are in shotgun. Kind of felt like they got off to a little bit of a quick start from their up back there, but regardless, it's a first down run for the Warriors.
Slight lean forward there, good movement by the left side of the Wapsie Valley line here. Looks to be a couple Cyclones. We've got some new faces here coming in and out. We've got a couple guys running here. The Cyclones don't play a whole lot of people. I'd say that's one of the things that early in the year Red Bear talked about here. We have some really strong players there, but we got to play a lot of snaps, and you got to wonder if they're wearing down at all.
Well, so I'm seeing Jackson Scoville. Looks like he's played that Mike position right now. And they do the same pitch play to the right, and they get, a nice little 5-yard gain. I'm anticipating them eventually doing a little halfback pass with that pitch play, just setting something up for later. But they get some nice movement.
Right there is a nice job by the defensive end there, kind of playing this team football there. Defensive end turns it in, just not enough hats, there when it did turn back in. Right now, Wapsie seems to be playing everything outside the hashes towards the outside, using their team speed.
All right, so we have 2 wide receivers to the left. They motion their halfback to the left as well. And just a halfback dive, and he's got a lot of room. Breaks 2 tackles, breaks 3 tackles, and he's still on his feet, throwing a stiff arm there, and he's still rumbling down. Wapsie Valley with a
catch play there. That's Hunter Curley there. He's also another one that looks to be pretty good in space. I think he's the one that had that long kick back there. I don't know if it was 24 or 23. Sorry there. It's hard to see here, guys. It's, way in that far corner from us. But Hunter Curley there and Cannon Decker, both those guys have made it really difficult for safeties at the end coming down. You're going to have a safety come down and have a chance at this, but he's going to put a nice move on it there and beat the arm tackle. But right here is a good response here from Wapsie Valley to kind of march this thing back down in Denver territory.
All right, so we're going to cut this right back to action. Oh. All right, they do get another play.
Great drive here so far. That's going to end the third quarter, and I think right now is Coach Isaac Barrett, deep as a coordinator, is probably ready for that third quarter to be over, or maybe to catch a break there. Cyclones won that third quarter, but Wapsie ended, with a good momentum. So third quarter couldn't have ended a little more. Hopefully these guys get a rest and kind of get catch their breath and get their minds back right, because that was a lot of movement there from the Wapsie Valley line.
So during the first drive of the Warriors, it must have been intentional that they were going to go fast, and they really haven't attempted to go fast outside of that first drive. And it felt like they were upticking it there a little bit as well. I know they got to get a couple first downs to go fast, but they've been their first drive. I mean, they were on the line of scrimmage with 30 seconds left on the play clock, and they've been probably down to 15 and 10 the rest of the game. So a big third quarter there. I mean, the Cyclones kind of came out swinging, and then Wapsie Valley responded with a massive return, and then it felt like it was Denver for just a little bit. But again, Wapsie's just not going away.
I mean, to be honest, there's been a weird football game in a lot of aspects because sometimes the people that have had the longer drives haven't got scores out of there. Even the drive that the ball got tipped, Wapsie was in the midway midfield and kind of having a good drive going there. They've had a lot of some good drives recently, but not so many points. Cyclones there got a pick 6 off of a great play there, so it's just kind of been a kind of a weird game, or kind of just a funky game in some aspects. But it's been a fun game to watch.
Oh yeah, and as a fan, I mean, it's within reach for either team. I think Denver can put this game away with a couple critical plays, and Wapsie can find themselves back into this. All right, so we find themselves in this familiar formation: a shotgun with a running back to the left, a halfback to the right, and we have 2 receivers on the short side of the field, and a tight end out to the right side.
Real heavy set here for Wapsie right here. I think this has been their triple option formation.
They're just going to have the quarterback take it, and they're definitely feeling it here. They just want to come right after the Cyclones, and they get a first down in the red zone.
Well, right there is Wapsie Valley's. It's going to basically make their quarterback turn into a running back. It's going to be basically a power play with 2, both the up back and the traditional tailback leading up the hole. Definitely an advantage when you have a good runner there, and you can just turn your quarterback into a running back, and you gain a blocker, and that's that formation.
Really, it's like what'd you call that? It wasn't a Maryland eye, but it was what we run.
Power eye.
Right. So this is kind of a different way to run a power eye. You got 2 people and they run the same play. Ooh, then they bobble it. Cyclones, I think, are saying they have it, but I don't think so.
We got the clock moving. I believe the Wapsie fell back on that, but what another chance there for the Cyclones. That would have been kind of right on script there. Cyclones being opportunistic, turning them over, taking away momentum. Going back to the same play we just saw before, Wapsie Valley's been getting some good movement on the offensive line, but Cyclones, fumble's going to lose them a couple yards, 2nd and 8. I'd call that a win for the Cyclones here. Hopefully we get them off the field here.
Oh, yeah. Just gets them off the schedule a little bit.
Yep.
All right, so we're kind of in that heavy set again. Handoff. Denver does a nice job of hitting him after about 2 yards, but tell you what, Curley is running hard.
And he's probably feeling a little fresh there. Didn't get a whole lot of carries in the first half. I'd say that's probably, we've had Evan Dorn getting his first carries of this, in the second half a little more, and same with Curley. But he looks explosive. He looks to be getting that second layer, and he looks to be finishing his runs with a little bit of contact.
All right, folks, we're sitting here, Denver 33, Wapsie Valley 12. Wapsie Valley driving. They're at the Cyclone 5-yard line, 3rd and about 3. They're in an I formation. Wapsie Valley runs what looked like a triple option, but I don't think he had any intention of optioning out there, just a dive play to the right.
Yeah, that looked to be fullback ISO. That's, I'm surprised they got so wide with that fullback that, those quick hitting plays to the fullback generally are going to hit, quick and up the, with forward momentum. I don't know if that one was broken or if that was the design there, but it looked to be getting wide, and you got your fullback moving side to side there. I'm sure the Cyclones were okay with that play call because they were all over it, and now we had a big 4th and 2 here.
All right, so I expect them to put Decker in shotgun, which they do, and I think they're just going to lead it. They're going to have him keep it. We'll see. Bad snap, but yeah, he's got plenty of room. Big push by the Warriors. And the Cyclones stop it, but not after a first down run by Kanan Decker.
Say they didn't need much, any kind of, they could get a first down without scoring. They only had about 1.5 yards, 2 to get there, but it looks like he's going to be about a football away, or maybe, let's say, half a yard from scoring. I don't think the original hole was there for the Cyclones. I think the Cyclones guessed the right play, like you did Pickett there, and stunned. He had that right, their right side of the D-line, but a little steam on the backside opened up for the Kanan Decker, and he just fit himself right through.
Wapsie Valley knocking on the door of the Cyclones. Let's see if they elect to run this thing right up the middle, or if they try to test the edge here. Based on their formation, I think they're going to try to knock it right through the teeth of the Cyclones. Here's the snap, and yeah, absolutely, it's going to be a quarterback keep, and it looks like that is a touchdown, Warriors.
Right there is, first time you've seen him under center, you had to predict quarterback sneak. It's easy to predict, tough to stop, especially there when you got some momentum offensive line, and they were feeling pretty confident there. They got a great push, and that wasn't one of those where you're like, did he get it or not? He got in by a couple yards. So we'll see, if the Cyclones can get a nice response here on offense, but looks like we're going to get a 2-point conversion as well.
So here's Wapsie down by 15, and this is kind of a, not critical, but this is a big opportunity for them, and Decker keeps it, but the Cyclones sniff it out. Looks like everybody's coming off the line, and that was a big stop by the Cyclones.
Right there is 15's a lot easier than 14. You got to think about scores there, and it's a 2-score game. But when you could add that extra point there, that extra, they've got to score and get a 2-point conversion. That gives your team even a little more confidence, and maybe changes Wapsie Valley's plans on defense, offense. But this is great. This is early in the season for the Cyclones here. They needed to be tested there last week. I think towards the end here, I think they wore New Hampton down, and I think New Hampton probably gave into that a little bit. Wapsie's done the complete opposite, and that's something you got to expect in a rivalry game. They're not going to give up. They're not going to quit fighting, and that's something we don't expect from Wapsie Valley as a Denver, as a Denver fan, or watching them over the years. So. A great spot, 2-touchdown lead here, 9 minutes left. It's not the game's not over by any means, but it's a good test for the Cyclone to see kind of what their mental fortitude's at.
So Wapsie Valley, I know they've been squib kicking here. Do you think they're going to take an attempt at an onside kick?
Well, we got theirs. It looks like Denver's ready for it. They got all but 9, all 10 of their guys within 10 yards of the legal 10-yard kick area. So I think in the end here, we'll see a squib, but I don't know if we'll see an onside now that they're ready for it.
Right.
We will.
They do. And it ends up, it's got to hit a couple Warriors.
And if it didn't, I think it went out at 9 yards. I don't think it got to the 10 yards, but not a terrible kick. They just needed about 2-3 more yards. It's never easy to hit that bouncing ball, but he did get a perfect pop-up. I think he needed a little more forward in that for that to be a legal kick. But
yeah, it was bouncing and weirdly, and that's what you want out of a good onside kick. All right, so the Cyclones with a big opportunity here. It'd be a very different ball game if they take some time off the clock or if they put one into the end zone. Either of those two things would be a big win for Denver.
Well, the Cyclone style definitely works in this favor here. Is they're not one of those teams that is going to score too quickly that often unless they hit a big run or they hit a deep ball like they have. But they have power eye. They've shown power eye today. They've shown some good eye stuff. And their best formations have been power-heavy offenses that you can have long drives in and can rely on. So I think that's what the Cyclones are going to go to, and right away it looks like we're an eye.
All right, the Cyclones take the field. Receivers split out each side, tight end to the right, and they hand it off to the left, and that's what you want to see, a good 4 or 5 yard gain.
And I like the balance there. We have tight end to the right here, and not going to the strong side, going to the weak side tackle there. Last week the Cyclones showed a lot of running to the right. I think it was 75%, and especially down the stretch there. But going to the weak side there, looks to be Wapsie Valley's a little more overloaded to the strong side. Definitely our strong side would be our right side, going from last week. So get a 5 yard gain like that. It's good on first down, right on schedule.
So one thing that I appreciated about last game is Jackson's clock management. He's really calm when there's like 2 or 3 seconds left, and he routinely did that last game. So I'm going to sit here and going to get the play off with about a second or two left, and he's not in a panic mode. But, oh my gosh, is that Micah Greer rumbling and stumbling down to the Warrior 15-yard line.
And just like you said, there's ball snapped with 1 second. It didn't look like we were panicked to get the snap off there. That sometimes, in high school football, you got guys running all over the place 1 second. No, that was a controlled understanding. They're trying to bleed the clock there. Micah Greer is going to get off that left side here, and he's going to kind of get lost in the mix, it looks like there, but he's going to be the only guy that pops out of it there. And he had the full momentum. He had, a great finish to his run there, nice 18, 19-yard gain. And great block by, Evan Dorn to kind of set that out.
Micah's got to be, he's got to be 150 plus
I'd
yards.
say he's probably, 175. He's had a lot of, big chunk plays like that.
All right, so the Cyclones take over again, not in a hurry, come up to the line of scrimmage with about 8 seconds to go. I formation, tight end to the right. They're going to give the fullback some love. And Evan Dorn kind of falls forward for, it looks like 4 yards.
And that's exactly what, I'm sure Barrett would like to score on every single play there, but I'm sure every single time there that fullback dive was being, hey, if we score, great, but we're going to get 3 yards guaranteed because you got a big workhorse in number 8, Evan Dorn is going to get us on schedule there. So well done there. I like the play call, and I like the idea that it's going to get another 40 seconds of clock's going to burn.
All right, so Jackson Sanderson, who, by the way, is also coming in to he goes over to Coach Rick Barrett.
You got to worry about some cramp and then how much running he's going side to side.
He got kind of dinged up. I've been watching him run, and his ankle still doesn't look 100%.
They have not been running nearly as much tonight.
All right, so again, a dive play to the left. I think is that Jackson Scoville with the carry?
I saw 11 there. That's his first touch in the backfield. Right now, as it looks to be like something in the backfield's got to be changing there because I see Evan Dorn, and it looks to be Jackson Scoville with his first touch, and he got about 3-4 yards, and we have 3rd and 4. So Micah Greer was out on that play.
Yeah. So I think you're already in your brain going, we're in 2-down territory here, and let's get our nose and get the first down right now. But I don't see them changing anything here.
Well, you got to expect some pressure from Wapsie here as well. Their backs against the wall. Not a blitz here, a run blitz. You could almost be assured of.
All right, so now we pitch it out to maybe avoid some of that interior blitzing. Micah Greer puts his shoulders down, squares himself up, and he's got a first down.
He's not going to score, but he's about the 2-yard line, and he'd get a first down there. So a nice 7-yard gain from the 9-yard line. Wapsie Valley is going to move their linebackers up, and then Barrett chooses a good time to go out wide. We have not thrown a pitch play, but that was well timed for the Cyclones. And, you could, I don't know if he could, called it at a better time for himself.
So I tell you what, when Denver's decided just to commit to the run, they really haven't made a lot of mistakes. It's been positive yardage most of the time. And
I think that's going to be a challenge for the Cyclones because I do think they're going to have a good offensive line. I think that's the strength of this team, and I think they've got a couple of good backs. But I like the way they've mixed in both. But, yes, the run game's been really strong, and they've been really been able to get to that second level untouched if they can, commit to the run.
All right, so the Cyclones in the I formation, and I didn't see the handoff.
Fullback dive left, and he's going to looks to be the far judge is saying really short, really close. Looks to be like saying he's about a half a yard short there, but we got about 2.8 yards from the 3-yard line.
2.8 yards. Right.
I'm going to go decimals in high school in football. I know that's not necessarily traditional.
That's all right. I want to in my physics class, I'll have that convert that into inches or feet for the kids at home.
I could do that for you, but I think I'll leave it to the kids.
That's all right. That's a good. Google shall provide is something that I don't really tell the kids, but at the end of the day, Google does provide things. All right, so Cyclones look like they're going to knock it in. They're going to enjoy taking another 30 seconds off the clock. Jackson Sanderson gets his foot in the ground and almost stands up and scores a touchdown.
Well, the Cyclones and Wapsie seem to be mirroring each other there because Wapsie has a really good offensive line dominant drive, and the Cyclones come right back, and I think the offensive line dominated there as well. So both teams maybe get wearing down on the defensive line in that front 7, front 8, depending on the 4-4 if you want to call it there. But both teams having great drives there, and, that's just the old school quarterback sneak from the half-yard line and easy score for Jackson Sanderson. You got to love that as a quarterback and a rushing touchdown for a quarterback sneak.
And
we got a doink.
Hey, you know what? I was going to say he and everyone's got to sit down and understand this. It's not hard to hit it is hard to hit a field goal. If you sit down and just train for that and that's it. But Jackson's playing like 5 different positions on the team. Again, he's a punter. He's a kickoff. He's the point after attempt guy. He's the starting quarterback for the Cyclone football team, and he's the starting free safety.
He's doing a lot, and I'd say there's in some ways I bet he just says, knowing Jackson, I bet he's just like, this is probably easier just to stay in a rhythm and going. But yeah, changing modes into a kicker there. That's good. It's good practice for us right now because these points, now it's a 3-score game. We're up 21, 3 touchdowns. Maybe not matter as much, but it's good for us that, be able to switch minds there and, be able to go change hats there throughout the game. It's going to be something there. I've seen a lot of good tests for the Cyclones, a lot of good things that they need early in the year for especially, game 2.
All right, so it looks like Denver has this game in hand with about 4 minutes and 9 seconds left. And again, at this point in time, it's about, at least for the Cyclones, finishing the game the way that they want to. And for Wapsie, too, it's about continuing whatever game plan and maybe springboarding into next week and finishing this rivalry game on their terms. All right, Jackson just kind of does a slow roller. And Wapsie Valley gets to the edge. Yeah, he gets another 10-yard gain after, traveling about 35 yards.
That was really close there. Hunter Curley's going to pick that up, and he went to a knee before he picked it up, and I think the referees made the right call there of saying he picked it up. He went from his knee, and then he got up. It was really close, but I think it was the right play, and it was Hunter Curley. He's a quick kid, and he, took a squib, and I think he kind of, got up late and found the edge.
Shout out for Deb Smith of Smith Studios for eventually I'll have some headshots of the Cyclone football players and volleyball players to put into this broadcast. But appreciate everything that she does, and she just sent me an email that contains all that stuff. All right, the Warriors are going to take over at their own 42-yard line. They're in that shotgun formation, heavy to the left, and they pitch it that way. And if that's Curley, he just finds a lot of running room and makes a good cut.
Right there, as that looks to be the Will linebacker, Jackson Olmstead overran it a little bit, and that was a cutback for him. There's some pride on this drive here. I know there's, it's a 3-score game, and this game might be in hand for the Cyclones, but I know Isaac Barrett did not enjoy that last series there, having Wapsie march it down on like that. This is a good, this is a good thing to see how the Denver Cyclones respond if they can kind of get their traction back and get a stop.
All right, so we have 3 receivers split to the right side. The halfback or the running back is that way. They're going to sprint out. Will, I think, almost made the play, but this looks like this is a run the entire way. And Kanan Decker takes it for about a 10-yard gain for a first down.
Right there is Will Lockhart. I think he came a little bit thin there and then turned into a track match there between Kanan Decker and Evan Dorn. And luckily, Evan Dorn had the angle enough to take that before it was too big of a gain. But still some momentum, movement from the Wapsie there. We were already on the 40-yard line for in Denver territory.
All right, so we have again, a shotgun formation. Feels pretty heavy. They're going to hand this thing right off. And the Cyclones make a stop after about a 1-yard gain, so we'll see 2nd and 9.
Looks to be Cody Kepi on the inside there. Shucks the block and makes a tackle on the interior. That was a win for the defensive line. We haven't had a whole lot lately, so that was good to see that, a play for the Denver Cyclones that, get them off 2nd and long, get ahead of the chains, on the defensive end.
All right, so we're looking like we're in the exact same formation here. Shotgun, halfback to the left, 2 receivers to the right. Pass play. Kanan Decker throws it deep. He's got a guy. Oh, it is incomplete, but it was in his hands for what looked like a second, and it falls harmlessly to the turf.
Well, it looked to be that play, that deep ball. They went back there. It looks like they went attacked Ethan Ryder here, and that's not an easy play to turn and run with them. That was just right outside of his hands. It was a close play to be in pay dirt for the Wapsie Valley Warriors.
It was a nice placement, too. It was if Ethan Ryder was in better position, I don't think he still would have been able to make a play on the ball. It was dropped in on a great spot.
Oh, we got some movement.
Looks like I'm in a replay. I'm sorry, everybody.
Right there is, I think we're going to get a illegal formation. I think we had a couple guys for Wapsie moving around on that, so I think it's going to come back there. About a gain of 7 off the left side, but I think we're still going to see 3rd and 14 now because of the legal shift.
All right, so I think our delay needs to go up just a little bit just because I'm watching real life right now and I'm seeing this. It's about a.
You're seeing. I'm seeing. We got to walk back a little bit. Okay.
Well, that's we're watching the game, and then I'm looking at my computer to see what's being broadcast, and it looked like they're way off. So I thought I was playing a replay before, but I think our delay, our lag was there. All right, so we're watching the Warriors get out 3 wide. They're going to sprint out. Kanan Decker is going to drop the ball down, but the Cyclones come in and
Another late flag here for the Cyclones there. I don't know if it was the kid or someone diving in. I'm not sure who that was, but at the same time here is hope they did not ruin a great play, great flow from the Cyclones. A lot of red hats over there, and I'm hoping that was not a late hit. That's going to really, really be got the officials talking, so I'm not exactly sure yet.
Yeah, I mean, I'm watching it, and it looks like there's a hit that came in from our side, but I don't know if it would be considered late. Yeah, Wapsie Valley definitely wants to get to the line of scrimmage.
They want to play there. I think they're about to get 15 yards given to them right there if they're patient. They want to get up there and snap.
Well, they're walking in a direction that does not benefit the Cyclones.
Got a face mask there, so it wasn't a late hit there, but it was a face mask and a personal type here. But in high school football, that doesn't give you an automatic first down, and luckily it was 3rd and 18, so now it is only about 3rd and 3.
I will say, great discipline out of the chain gang. When it gets confusing like that.
Brad Lowers was maybe the call of the night. Great discipline from the chain gang. I just caught that, and I thought that was a glorious nugget. I'll use that later. All right, so the Warriors now in Cyclone territory at the Cyclones 33. They do a little triple option, and Decker does a nice job of reading and almost getting through, but just really the effort and the what am I going to talk about here? The pursuit by the Cyclones end up knocking him back for about a yard loss.
Right there, he looked like he was optioning right there. The right defensive end, that would have been Will Lockhart, and Will Lockhart did a nice job of kind of playing both the ball carrier and the pitch guy and the quarterback. A little fake pitch and turn back in, but he turned into a number of Cyclones ready for gang tackling there.
All right, so the Warriors here. Really, this is going to be the game for them if they can't convert a first down. They're going to sprint out to the right. Cyclones know it's happening.
Evan Dorn, I think he's going to make the play. Well done.
Yeah, that was a good effort by both guys.
And it looks like Evan might be already cramping there. He had to make a side-to-sideline tackle there. I think Evan Dorn, he's, I don't know if he's got as many highlight tapes, or plays from us as we'd like to see there. But at the same time that is a tough play for the middle backer to run 30, 40 yards like he did there and go chase a fast quarterback down and make a tough 4th down tackle like he did.
And Decker, who is significantly smaller than Evan Dorn is, went through and almost got through that tackle.
Almost got through. I think he had about a yard yet more to gain there, and that would have been a first down. And it looks to be victory formation for the Cyclones.
Yeah, we've got a minute 20 left, and if I'm doing my math correctly, this is the game. You can see some handshakes here. I think this has been a really, really good football game for both teams. Wapsie Valley, I'm just looking at the score, and I don't even know how to feel about it. I mean, are they really 21 points different from each other?
I mean, honestly, like I said, it's a kind of a weird game. I think both coaches are going to have, this is non-district play, and this is a rivalry, and this game matters a lot. And if you took away Denver-Wapsie, I think that would be just thinking as a coach here, I think both teams, Wapsie's going to have some positives they have right there. They're going to have some negatives. I think Denver's going to have a lot of positives, and they're going to have some things to work on. And that's, in some ways, as a coach, it's exactly what you want, is you want to make sure, you want everything always working perfect there, but you definitely need to learn what you need to work on. And I think the Cyclones, maybe wore down later in that third quarter and into the fourth quarter. But they had some bright spots as well. So it's fun to see, how these teams will respond from that. But I think both teams show that they're quality teams with some strengths that they can lean on.
So, and I got to remember, I mean, we're considered a 1A.
We are 1A,
and they are an A.
They are A, correct.
I mean, I'm just watching their team and their running back and their quarterback combination, and then also, I mean, he threw a couple great deep balls, and they had some separation with I don't know who their 1 or 2 receivers were, but they've got enough weapons to to really stress a lot of teams in A football.
It was good. It was a good test right there. So, you don't get a whole lot of chances to tackle people that are that shifty with that much speed there. So it definitely tested our cyclone angles. Being able to break down and make those plays. But there's some weapons for Wapsie Valley. There's it was kind of a game of the weapons there. Micah Greer hit some big home runs there. Evan Dorn kind of got it going a little bit at times, but Keaton Rothmeyer outside. But there's both teams had some star players they leaned on.
So, again, getting kind of near the end of the broadcast, but a great home victory for the Cyclones. 39 points put on Wapsie. Felt like they could have put more in as well, but they really played well. Obviously, we said Keaton Rothmeyer's name a lot. We might as well hashtag him. He had a great game. But Jackson Sanderson also kind of quietly did a lot of great things as well.
Yeah, I'd say there's, if you look at the stat line, the big one that's going to pop out, I'm not sure how many yards Micah Greer had from the tailback spot. I think he probably is over 175. I think he's going to have a big number. But, if you want to take some, maybe less, unsung heroes, you got to look at Jackson Sanderson. I think he did a lot of difficult things really well today, led the offense. I don't know if there was an incomplete pass the entire game from him.
No.
I think it just... A lot of underneath stuff. A lot of those are high percentage stuff, but just the way he got it out there quickly and in rhythm to the receivers. He threw a great deep ball, and then Keaton Rothmeyer the same thing. Had a couple of good kick returns, and also, out wide created a threat that gave something to Wapsie to think about there. That little bubble concept, and I think a lot of good things came from that. Keaton Rothmeyer being a weapon.
And really, the line offensively was doing a great job. I think we only had. I'm thinking about our center, which I think is Landon Luring. It's going from a shotgun snap to somebody under center. I think they only had one bobble, but that was clean. I think there's some personal foul penalties that I'm not excited about, but like procedural, I thought that they played a very, very clean game as well.
I'll give it to the offensive line here. If you look at the negative plays the Cyclones had today, it was very minimal. That's, I think, the biggest part. If you can avoid getting 2nd and 12, 2nd and 13, they stayed ahead of the chains throughout this entire game here. And I want to say tackle for losses. I would say Wapsie is probably less than 4 or 5 tackle for losses throughout this entire game.
Right.
And if you can stay ahead of the chains and just play fundamental football like this and win the turnover battle, which is what we've seen in 2 games, like you said, that's a tenet of winning, and that's been a great recipe for the Cyclones. I hope that's something that's just a characteristic that they have. But really, really good football, avoiding the really bad plays, because that's hard to do sometimes.
Absolutely. Well, I'm looking out at almost a full moon that's out there. Cyclones are on the field getting talked to by Coach Barrett. It's always good to win a home football game here. Next week, I don't know what the schedule is, but I have no idea if they're home or away. But we should be playing. Yeah, we should probably know that. No. We still have people listening to us, and I'm super jacked up. We had, I think, a total viewership of about 350 different. It looks like about 350 different people. We still have 68 people that are listening to us. So bless your hearts for staying with us.
And next week we will be at North Fayette Valley. We'll be back here home. It's going to be a couple weeks. Our next home game is going to be September 22nd here. It'll be another rivalry. I'll call it now there, but it's going to be us against AP, and that'll be a homecoming game. So
that'll be a big
You'll
one.
get a couple weeks break from us, but at the same time here, the next one come back for the 22nd, because it's going to be a fun one, definitely.
Absolutely. Well, folks, this is Jared Pickett with Joe Frost. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast, and have a great Labor Day weekend, by the way, everybody, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. Go Cyclones.